and say that you guys are at the cave. Which is
At the
where you're
cave.
going to go and meet these guys anyway. Joe has expressed that he's going to be late. He's on a call, so we can expect our Tremere friend to arrive anytime during the conversation. And so, yes, you three who have been plotting your evil plans all day.
No, getting growled at all day, you mean?
Basically, you can fill Bob in now. Bob turns up at the cave whilst you're still plotting. How's that sound for you, Bob?
Sounds good.
Hello. One thing that you will know, Bob, is that your closest allies in the city right now, whom you are staying with, tell you that they've had visitors today, and those visitors are probably very much the same people that you're working with. So you can make what you want out of that.
Hey, Bob.
So there you go. I leave it in your capable hands, role players, to do the role playing.
So we went and saw Hank.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, we went and saw Hank. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, you met Mark
Yeah,
Levesque?
sure.
All right, yeah, he got really angry at Chase here.
Yeah.
What'd you do, Chase?
Oh, I don't know. I just exist in this world. That's my whole problem. I think I just exist in this bloody world.
Cheer up, sunshine.
You wait till I get a helicopter with fucking rockets and a machine gun. They don't. Nah.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the Rose Garden. So put on something nice.
Well,
what is the Rose Garden?
It's another
I don't know. It's
nightclub.
probably another place where somebody will growl at me and just tell me off.
Yeah, another nightclub.
I'm not going to another nightclub. I'm staying here. It's safer.
God damn it, Chase, stop.
Vincent puts his hand on Chase's shoulder and he looks him straight in the eyes and he says, "Harden the fuck up." And that's dominate, by the way, at the same time.
I just went hard in the fuck up.
Excuse me? What did you tell me to do? Harden the fuck up? I don't see. Everybody's picking on me. If I had a home to go to, I'd go to it. But, I haven't got a home to go to. Where are we going?
Well, Chase, how about I'll come with you and try and keep you out of trouble?
I didn't. No. Yeah, okay. All right. At least somebody will understand. The riggers of being me. The riggers of being me.
He's just unhappy because he tried to seduce someone unsuccessfully.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You tell everybody. Yeah, look, I'm not good at seduction, all right?
I'll wait till Lawrence gets here. I'll tell him to.
Okay. I am not good at seduction. It is not the first thing on my list to do. When the VC were firing at me, I didn't think about seduction. When the, what do you call the bad guys? The bad vampires?
Sabat.
Yeah, that's Sabat. I wanted them to tell me. The Sabat, when they were trying to kill me, I didn't go up to one of their women and say, "Hey, baby, you want to make a night of it?"
I don't know. That might have made for a very interesting, battle, to be honest with you. Maybe you should have tried.
Well, we will never know. You were too busy.
Everything's a miss that you don't try, Chase.
Okay. Yeah, this is true. Maybe I'll try it next time.
I probably would not, maybe not a Sabbath chick, though, but
Oh, really? I mean,
I don't know. I've heard some stories about Sabat chicks.
Yeah, I've heard about some with the tentacles. That'd be kind of hot, don't you think?
Let us not go into the whole tentacle thing. You know what happened with that, boss? Oh.
What happened with that? Right. Please tell us.
Chase?
Well, we met one of those women.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We did.
and she was into us. She was really into us.
I mean, I was naked at the time, so she was probably more into me.
That's
And
like you
that
get
was-
naked a whole lot.
That was terribly distracting, I'll have you know.
What,
You're
Belle's being
welcome.
naked or a chick with tentacles?
Well, a bit of both. Tentacles and naked women all over the place. You realize how long it's been since... No, never mind.
You know, when you're like Gabriel, like being nude is fine. One day you guys would be like all cool about this. You won't even see me as a naked chick.
So just so I understand this and so I can visualize this.
That's
So you
not
were
correct.
naked and there was something to do with tentacles at the same time.
No. I wasn't naked.
You were
boss
naked.
The boss was
Imagine
naked.
Chase naked.
Excuse me? I have... And you shut up too. Okay, right.
I'm doing that.
I'll
that
have you
Stop.
know that my body is... Well, okay, you make a point. Okay. As they keep telling me I'm not up to date, neither is my body.
Actually, wasn't that something we were thinking about doing? We're going to do a home like person makeover Chase edition, right? That was the idea.
I am not cutting my hair.
Why
I am
don't you
not
just grow
cutting
back?
my hair.
Anyway,
I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm sure the Elvis
I
hairstyle
think
is
you
going to
should
come
at
back in
least-
fashion eventually.
at least style it or something. We're going to a place with motorcycle gangs, so why don't you just chuck it in a mohawk and call it a night?
You could always wear a mullet.
You
No.
people act
No,
like
there's only
I've...
one mullet in Chicago.
You people act like I've never been in a biker bar.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be one of Loden's new decrees. There's only one mullet in this city.
No, I've been in several biker bars. They're not that bad.
So,
Loden's got your office bugged, by the way. He's listening to this whole conversation.
I'm all for the mullet, Loden. Just nothing else that you got. No.
It's true though. The shoulder pads.
I
We
don't
know-
like my lingerie.
Rios have real shoulders to carry stuff
tell me
on.
Tell me this. How are you supposed
Hello.
to learn your powers when you don't know? I mean, I know that my people are here. You know, the Malkavians. I know they're here. But I
Yeah.
don't want to stroll up and say, "Oi, dude, teach me to be a Malkavian."
Well,
Yeah,
at least the
well-
Malkavians are good people. Shit, I have assholes as most of my lieges.
I think you should at least talk
Sorry.
to them.
I kind of forget you're more nuts than you used to be.
Yeah, but you know, how do you do that? I mean, all I wanted was, I know it's a dirty word. Let's not say the word J-O-B. Let's not say that
Oh.
because I've got to be a real vampire. No, I've got to make my own living. Yeah.
Well, you're doing that now, so
Well, not really.
I mean, you're going to.
Vincent is making my living. I'm just along for the ride, really. And
For
as
the
long as I
helicopter
can
ride.
be in a helicopter, flying far away from the rest of the world.
Can the rest of you drive a helicopter? Or is it just the one you?
Excuse me, it's just, what do you mean the rest of me? There isn't a rest of me.
Right. Okay.
There is only me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, rest of me indeed.
Right.
Rest of me.
What does he think though? I just put it over his shoulder.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Mhm.
maybe. Well,
Okay.
there's only one of me, I swear.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, one
Right.
One me.
As long as you don't like accidentally forget how to, fly a helicopter or anything, it should be okay.
Forget how to fly. Oh, I'm cut to the quick.
I mean, I'm sure there's not going to be any helicopter accidents. That never happens in Chicago. I'm sure there'll never be a helicopter accident. It'll never happen. We'll be fine.
Now, hang on. I cannot guarantee that. After all, I am with you three. Yeah, well, not funny.
Should we get going? Or is there something else we need
thought
to
we
do?
were
here?
going to remake me. Are we going to remake me first?
Make over, remake. There's a subtle difference.
What?
Go on, Bella.
Make over?
Show him.
Bella? Bella?
Well,
Are we
I don't know
gonna-
why we're at the cave to do this. It's very tough.
We're meeting here. We're supposed to meet. And by the way, he's late.
Lawrence?
Yes.
Okay.
No, he's not.
Maybe we should just go back to your place, Vincent, and then I'll use like what you have in order to make him look.
I don't have anything, and his stuff is too expensive. It frightens me.
Oh, I just got some new clothes actually. I was
Excellent. Let's
I was
go.
watching this movie about the 80s, and there's plenty of really good shows. I've got these things called pajama pants. They look awesome.
Okay.
You should totally use them.
I know enough not to wear pajama pants. All right.
No, you should definitely wear them as well.
Look, normally, old friend, buddy, pal, I would take your advice, but not tonight. I am gonna totally put myself, even though it frightens me a bit, in the hands of Bella.
All right. Let's go to your place, Vincent.
Can you make him wear pants, Belle?
I will do that.
Pants would be
Hey!
preferable.
Yeah.
I do wear pants. What are these?
There's still a Superman outfit lying around.
Yeah. I clawed up the Bonnie outfit, so it's no longer
It's true.
available.
I think that would be pretty badass if we rock up to a club with a giant purple dinosaur with us. That would be.
You could just all turn up as Teletubbies, all of you, like the whole group.
I'm okay.
You'd never leave though.
I'd,
You'd just
I'd
be
bag,
swamped with people being like, "Whoa."
I bags Tinky Winky if that's what we're going with.
Oh God.
Anyway, so what are we doing? What's the plan?
As I said
Bella?
before,
Take me, change me, Rick.
That's cool. I can do that, but not here because we're in a bar.
Well, I can't. I'm waiting.
well,
I'm waiting.
you're in an office, the back of the bar.
Yeah, but there's
In that
nothing
case,
here
is
to
that
do
phone
that.
ringing?
Is what?
Is that the phone ringing, or is that just funny noises you're making?
Well, that was funny noises. I was
Okay, sweet. Well, I won't answer the phone.
You can answer the phone if you want to. What you gonna do?
Okay, I'm going.
Bob the Bruiser speaking.
Yeah.
How can I help you?
Right.
Anyway,
we-
let's do something. Let's do it.
Quick, let's do it.
Okay, so you head off to Vincent's house, and you give Chase a makeover.
Could you
And-
describe the fashion bells? Let's go. What do we got?
Vincent, if this collar was any wider, it would be wings.
That's the point. Apparently, that's the style these days.
But-
In fact, you wear up the collar, from what I understand.
You're kidding me. Bella? Help?
What?
That's what
Okay.
that's what television
This,
tells me.
this.
I'm not
What do you
doing
think?
Okay, don't pop your collar. That's really lame.
Bells,
So-
are you able to find a photograph of anybody wearing something along the lines of what you might dress them in, do you think? Or is that
I could give it a shot.
Too much of
That'd
an
take
give
some
it a
time,
shot.
though.
Please, Bells. Make it good, Bells. Please, please.
Blonde tips.
2 weeks later, we come back.
Yeah.
There's actually nothing to suit you.
I just want to find it. I just want to say I find it funny that you guys went to my place for the clothes, considering I haven't been in this place for about 100 years. So I think your fashion sense might be a little bit different.
There's
I can make it work.
bunch of early, past century trousers and things, maybe. But you just said you got a bunch of clothes, didn't you?
Well, I did buy some 80s clothes.
80s clothes.
Yeah,
How
that's
did you-
that's as far as I've gotten in my movies so far. 80s.
How do you buy 80s clothes? So
Oh, there are 80s closed places around.
in 1999,
Yeah,
Oh
there
yeah,
were.
1999.
You know what,
yeah.
I'm gonna
i80sclose.com. That's the big.
I'm gonna make him look like he
he starts 80sclothes.com.
I'm gonna make him look like he sort of emulated Nirvana. So like
Oh, we're
like a-
going Kurt
should-
Cobain. Is that what
yeah,
we're?
yeah.
So we're going Kurt Cobain. All right.
We'll go Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain.
What?
Hey Joe, how's it going, man?
How's it going, guys?
Yo,
Joe,
where's the
just
rest of your face,
save
man?
me. They're turning me into Kurt Cobain.
Just don't
I
go for the full Kurt.
I'm wearing a singlet, so I'm keeping
So
it
go full
PG.
Kirk.
So he's like an old Kurt Cobain, though. That's the problem.
Stay away from girls named Courtney.
So I'm seeing him wearing like just jackets and striped t-shirts.
Yeah,
No,
chick.
This,
Kurt
it's, this,
Cobain
this,
doesn't wear. What does this Kurt Cobain wear? I've never
I'm
seen.
showing you.
Okay, well I'm
telling
thinking
you.
more
Like
like
corduroy shirts and
If you're gonna dress like Kurt Cobain, just stay away from girls named Courtney.
like
You'll be fine.
Hang on.
Yeah, trying to.
I'd probably
trying
say
to-
the heroine too, but you know,
I'm
just
going to share my screen.
I'm not gonna put him in like the cardigan or anything. Although
The heroin definitely something you should stay away from.
These are
Oh
all.
my God, he's a mess.
yeah, exactly.
yes.
We're trying to make you look like a
Oh,
mess.
oh, are we putting him in a cardigan? Let's put him in a cardigan. Hell
Put him
yeah.
in a cardigan.
Right.
No, I am not getting in a cardigan. That is no way.
How would I mean you?
He looks
you're
like the
allowed
singer
to
from Foo
make
Fighters.
you-
Yeah,
I
it is.
am-
It's Dave Grohl.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I want him to look kind of like grunge. That's what I'm aiming for.
Grunge. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Where you're going is quite.
Was that
grungy.
even the look of grunge? Because he just kind of looks like a hipster nowadays, I guess.
He just did whatever he wanted, so yeah. That
Yeah, I
kinda
guess
was
so.
it.
Like that one.
Why do I get punished? Okay.
He looks pretty cool here, though. I thought. You know?
Where?
Yeah,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let's go with that. That
There you
looks
go.
good.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
It's like a black jacket with it's a black leather jacket. He's got longish blonde hair, but it's trimmed.
All right,
neatly.
I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
There you go.
Okay.
We'll part your hair instead of having it all fluffy or just.
Leave my hair.
I mean, the problem Chase has got a problem there too because his hair is probably a lot shorter than Kirk's.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
You pretty much you do what you can with
He's
the mix
in
that
permanent
Chase has.
afro now, right? Like that's the theory. So he would have permanently that really bad Battlestar Galactica here for the rest of eternity, right?
We'll give him. We'll like
Nice.
use hair gel and whatnot.
I mean, you
to
can cut
sort
your
of-
hair every day if you want.
No, I'm quite. Thank you very much. And he quickly kind of.
There you go.
let's-
There you go, Kurt Cobain.
I can live with that. All right, go on.
Welcome, Joe.
Joe,
Joe the Silent. They called him Joe the Silent.
Joe, you're here too
In
late.
other places, they called him Joe the Mute.
You could have saved me at some point, but no.
Yet,
Everybody's picking on
call
me
him
today.
Joe the Muted. For he did
Yeah,
not
you look
unmute
really
before
cool.
He spoke.
Muted.
There you
Right.
go. That's
Well, if
I've been
you
talking
say
this
I'm
whole
cool,
time.
That's enough for
no,
me.
they haven't. Not
Yeah,
a
we've
word
been
has
trying.
come. I only sort of just noticed now. I was busy doing some research and stuff while we were talking, and I looked over. And
I was speaking to James just before.
like,
And Garth. Yeah, they heard me.
Yeah, man.
Wow, I didn't hear.
You're not hearing things.
Right, hang on. That's the
Oh
problem.
no.
That's the problem. Is I'm not hearing things.
It's too much gunfire in your apartment, man. It's wrecking your ears.
Right. Fucking bastards. All right, so quick updates then. Long story short, guys, everyone has met at the cave, and then these guys have moved on to Vincent's house to give Barry's character Chase a makeover.
Yep.
Joe, your character Lawrence has received word from your sire as to, or maybe they sent you information themselves. They might have texted you. Is that reasonable?
Yeah. I want to
Uh,
spend 20
yeah.
minutes setting up a ritual to talk over a mirror.
Right, no. If I can help it, I'm going to cut to the chase.
Ah,
So the long story short is that you guys have converged somewhere. It's either going to be the club or it's going to be Vincent's house.
Or the Vincent.
What was the I missed the XP from the end of last game.
There was no XP. You're all dead. No.
Because
XP.
it was just roleplay stuff. Meeting up and then going to the club.
Right.
In the club,
2
yo.
XP. Just 2 XP.
That's a song from the 90s.
XP.
Cool beans.
Cool.
Well, you're
beans.
talking about 50 Cent.
All right. So now you.
Was that the 90s? Okay.
So, Joe, Vincent has summoned everyone to his house basically for a meeting about what's going on. Vincent, are all of the, if you don't mind, Vincent, that's what I'm kind of suggesting, so that you can get everyone together in the same place at the same time as quickly as possible. The least amount of fuss. When you get there, I'm going to suggest that you have all your maps and files out on the table still from your conversation.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
What's all this?
Right.
Misc, random bits of paper.
Maps.
Yeah, maps.
The folders say Chicago Queen Coterie on them. Printouts.
Hey guys, welcome. So these are all the files from our predecessors. So this is everything that our predecessors knew about, and basically all the information that Loden had about the things that the predecessors did in terms of like meetings that they had, and places that they went.
Looks like there's your job, Chase.
Out of character, we're basically just giving you guys the full backstory of all characters that have gone so far, basically.
Right. So what you're looking at is a bunch of files that have come through Loden's hands that were reports from his childer Jin before Jin went missing several weeks back. Whom, Joe, you met Jin.
Yes.
Lawrence met Jin, and so did Bella. You met Jin. So yeah, you've just received all of Loden's reports that he had received from Jin up until the point that Jin disappeared.
What's the timeline on this? This is just the next day after the club.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So then you're going to another club.
So
This one's the Rose Garden. They have a different look. They're more motorcycly, but they're also potentially the place to go for anarch bullshit.
So I guess basically you guys want to catch up. So
Hmm.
basically what happened is we went to the club that you guys, were aware of, and the Succubus Club. And then we went and did some things at this coffee shop. I believe you're familiar with them, Bob, with Hank and co.
Yeah.
We met up with them, and they basically recommended that if we want to start doing some work in Gary, it might be best to do something along the lines with a person called Juggernaut. Juggler?
Juggler.
Way too many Yeah, okay. Jug.
Juggy.
Jugs.
What
Juggler.
Gus used to say was
Juggler.
Juggy.
Okay.
Juggler.
It's
What
pretty
did
cute.
Gus used to say?
Juggy.
Juggy, that's right.
He has Juggy in his phone.
Right.
So from the files that we got here, we figured out that Juggler is the leader of the anarchs in the city of Gary. Basically, everyone's saying that there's a prince in Gary called Prince Modius, but apparently if you want to do anything or have anything, these are the people that you want to talk to, not the prince.
Bing! Something went
Sorry.
bing.
Yeah, my phone always goes off, sorry.
This is your microwave. The cupcakes are ready. Speaking of cupcakes, what do you do next?
So we're gonna hit up the club. Apparently he hangs out and frequents this club called the Rose Garden, was it? I can't
Rose
remember.
Garden,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Rose
Nice
Garden.
microphone, Joe.
And that's where we're heading.
ASMR. ASMR.
Hey guys, this is Lawrence Harrington coming to you live from Chicago Queen Coterie.
Right. ASMR with the ASMR.
What are you doing with that microphone, Lawrence? Are you a spy?
All right, guys. Focus. Everybody focus. Okay, so what are you doing? You're at Vincent's house talking about files, and then what?
We're going to the club.
We're gonna go
So,
to Rose.
all right. So, whose car are you going in?
And why are we going to the club?
We already just explained this. Use your ears, Bob.
So what are we doing with the juggler guy?
Summarize it in one word.
Summarize into one word.
I didn't know we had a reason. I thought we're just going there to get shit-faced. That was my understanding, but
That was last night.
And this
it was last night, yeah. So I think we want to have a meeting with him and kind of get an idea and a lay of the land of Gary and basically how everything works around there.
And I won't.
All right.
Why are we interested in Gary?
Chase?
Oh no, I'm not saying anything because I just get in trouble when I open my mouth. Now, okay. Well, I'm thinking of starting a business that way, and I'd like him not to blow my business up or shoot me, or growl at me or any of those things. So I'd like to ask him permission to let me start my business.
Why would Juggler be interested in blowing up your business?
Yeah, what is your business?
No, that's just the way my luck is flowing. I'm talking about. My luck tonight has not been good. So I'm just going to him and saying, would you be offended if I started a small helicopter business in the area of Gary?
Also, there are some like juggler related things in this paper stuff. I'm not good at this.
Would you like to tell us what that juggler related stuff is in the paper, please, Bill?
No.
That was
Here, read it.
succinct.
Read it. Here.
You're
it's right
muted,
here.
Russell.
Bella, seeing as you were there, well, not you personally, not your character, your other character, do you remember out of game whether or not Gus's experience in the bowels of Juggler's Haven were recorded by anybody but Gus?
Wow, that's a tricky one. I don't think Gus would have said anything to Jin.
Right, but he might have recorded them under duress with Loden through interrogation. Yeah.
Probably, actually, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he would have saw everything. So,
All right,
yeah.
so there's also a note in here that Gus apparently witnessed some sort of vile monstrosity of a creature kept in a room underneath the rose garden.
He was told to put him down.
And yeah, and so Gus was told that he had to put this monster down with a shotgun, which he did.
It's true. It's very true.
See,
if you look at these points here and here.
Gus also explains had explained to Loden through this interrogation that this creature was captured by Juggler. It was not Juggler's creation. Juggler seems to be anti-Sabat, but he's also kind of anti-Camarilla too, so there's that. What are you going to do?
Sounds like the guy you want to be on your side.
It does.
Well, the good news is you're traveling to his place now.
Right now. Woof.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going. How are we getting there though? Should we take the limousine?
Did you use that tone when you said limousine?
Whenever I think of limousines, I want to accurately say it. So yeah, limousine.
Anyway, let's go. Either that or we could hop on Bob's bike. I'd be
Well, I take my bike. I wouldn't be caught dead in a limo.
Can I hop on Bob's bike? Is that something we can do?
Bob, are you going to let Vincent get on the bike with you? You do?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Do you have a spare helmet?
You can see Bob like.
No. Okay.
I don't have a helmet.
Okay, so no helmets. All right.
No.
Very good. And
I hold you very closely
and tightly.
I take him for a drive then.
So how are you traveling? Have you got your car?
No, I have Vincenzo driving me.
Okay. So what's going on, boss?
We're heading to Gary. I'll hand
What?
him the address.
My favorite fucking city in the world. So why are we going there?
Chase wants to speak with one of the leader of the anarchs.
Oh yeah, what the hell's an anarch? I mean, I can guess the word anarch is right there, but
So you remember how I said there were good and bad vampires?
yeah, I mean, I don't like to think of things in such simple terms, but sure.
It's more gray than that, but there's the good and the bad, and then there's those outside of both. They call themselves anarchs. They don't follow either.
So why don't you join those guys?
I don't know. Where I'm at now is what I want to be doing.
Sounds fair. Okay, I'm just checking. Just want to know what you're thinking so that I can be the most useful that I can.
Fair enough.
So just for your information, you're in my car, so I got guns and weapons and C4 packed in the back of here if you need it.
Everything we'd chuck in the taxi is still in the taxi, as you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Everything that you left in the taxi is in the taxi. It's been locked in there for days. It's not going anywhere unless you say so.
Probably best to unload it somewhere in case you
Alright.
get pulled over.
Sure. All right.
For now, though, we'll head to Gary.
Okay, so you're heading to Gary. Meanwhile, you two on the motorcycle make perception alertness checks.
How are we actually getting there? Are we with Vincenzo or are we with Vincent?
Was that perception alertness? Was it?
Yep, perception alertness. I have no idea how Charlie and
I'm gonna take
Chase.
the hippie van. You can hop in as well, Chase.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. All
Let's
right.
do our own thing. Mhm.
Yeah, I look more fashionable. I do realize that. Okay.
All right.
All
So
right.
how's your perception alertness checks going, Vincent? And 2 successes, Bob. Sorry, I can't hear you, Bob.
I'm trying to drive, so I'm
Trying to
doing
drive.
poorly.
You're doing poorly.
Yeah, zero.
His
Right.
perception's on the road. He's he's
Right.
he's a good,
Oh,
good
is it?
rider.
Okay, so while you're driving, Vincent, you notice that there is a police car crawling up kind of next to you guys. And then the lights flash. Whoop, whoop.
What are we gonna do, Bob? We're going for it. We're gonna make a break for it, or we
Can
we
Bob
stop?
hear you on a motorcycle on the freeway? Is my next question.
What are we gonna do, Bob? We're going for it. What's going on?
I indicate and start pulling over.
All right, the cop car pulls over next to you. You pull up on the side.
Yep.
On the verge. Cop gets out. There's another cop in the car you can see. This one's a woman, black woman. She walks over to you. She goes, license and registration.
You will find our license and registration are in order.
She's not looking at you. She's looking at him.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not saying anything.
She goes, you realize, obviously we got laws around here about motorcycles and head protection.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, that's right. Oh shit. What the goddamn hell were you thinking?
Guess I wasn't.
I guess you weren't thinking. You weren't thinking to the tune of $500. That's how much you weren't thinking. And she starts writing out a ticket.
I'll hand it. I'll hand it
Ah.
$1,000.
That's fine.
You don't give me the money. I don't want the fucking money. This is for the city, not for me.
Ticket, please.
Hands you the ticket. Now, you got 15 minutes to get off the road. If anyone catches you in the next 15 minutes, after 15 minutes is up, you're going to jail. Understand?
Yeah.
Good. Now get out of here.
Drive off.
All right.
I
Wheelie?
wish I was there. It's so nice to hear somebody else getting grounded for a change.
I try to growl at everybody equally. Come on.
Yeah.
It was your turn today, Barry.
Just some of us don't care.
Yeah.
Some of us don't care, right?
It's like, whatever, keep licking those boots.
Keep
All
licking
right.
those-
All right.
Just keep licking the boots. Right. Okay, so you all get to Gary, and you're traveling in through the streets of the very rundown and quite unpleasant parts of the city. One moment, please. There are all sorts of empty warehouses and burnt out streetlights, abandoned urban renewal projects, steel mills and factories.
So Detroit.
Detroit, right? Detroit, but on a smaller, even more depressing scale. Beyond hope, beyond despair. Here in the middle of the Rust Belt, you get to the closer to the waterline, to the lake, and there's pollution and poverty-stricken, deteriorated streets, abandoned houses. The harbour is run down. There's rusting container ships sitting in the harbour. And weirdly enough, there's this big Gothic cathedral right there in amongst all the ruins. All this industrial ruins, this cathedral that seems to be thriving. There's just, you're surrounded by squalor and lethargy. Occasionally you see pool halls. They're probably the most popular places at this time of night that are still kind of alive and well and going, with little units of bikers hanging around them. You can almost smell the greed, the drugs, the gangs. There's graffiti everywhere, abandoned stores, clearly a lot of unemployed people living here. And people just wandering the streets like zombies, homeless people. You see at least one large group of homeless people wandering down the street together, carrying children and that type of thing. You see aging and decaying mansions even as you go through these filth-choked streets, and the rivers too are filth-choked. And eventually you get to this place where you find this nightclub. Oh, look, there you go.
That's awesome.
Does Gary actually like this inside? You know,
You described it very well. I was like, that must be the place I'm looking at.
Right. I mean, honestly, go and do a deep dive on Gary sometime and do a Google search on Gary, videos of Gary. I know, was it Charlie? Did you watch a video with me one time about the streets and stuff? It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, terrible.
It would be interesting to see it during a different time of the year, though. It looked like it was maybe winter.
It's like winter or autumn. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
In any case, you park up from, I don't know actually, where do you park? There is a parking lot next to the club. That parking lot seems to be rife with gangsters doing fucking drug sales and shit like that going on.
Any chance we could park like close, like in front of it or something?
Yeah.
Can we park in front of the rose garden?
Let's see.
Okay.
There are 4 parks still available outside the rose garden.
Okay. I'm gonna park in there.
All right.
With my hippie van of happiness.
Right, your hippie van of happiness parks up. So Garth, you and Vincent will probably get here last because of the hold up, despite being on a bike. Unless you want to make a dex and drive check.
I sure do.
Yes.
Okay.
You
Oh
should
shit,
probably
we're
be
going for it.
You should probably
Yeah,
be
hold
us
on.
at least, because our van
Hold
doesn't
on.
go our van doesn't go very fast.
Is he going to wheelie the whole way there? Is that how badass we're going? Or?
I'm spending blood into Dex. That's how hard we're going.
Oh,
Wow.
shit. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
As we all like. One success.
One success.
God.
Like we get there, I suppose.
Well, you get there and you shave a minute off the time it would have taken you, so you don't get there too far behind everybody else. I was going to have you jumping off the sides of overbridges with your bike, but apparently
I was going to spend willpower, but then I was like, nah.
Yeah. I was going to describe this whole fucking sequence of all these brave and amazing things, but you just rolled 1 success.
This isn't like D&D.
can I
I
say?
can't back him up or anything with this.
No, in fact, the only thing you can do is weigh him down because you're on the back of his bike.
I know what, you can back me up with Vincent, so I'm calling shenanigans on helmet laws in Chicago and Gary, man. Like, look that up and have my back.
Pay the fine.
Nah.
All right. So you guys are pulling up. Joe, where's Lawrence? Do you want to make a dex and drive to get there fast? Or are you happy to just turn up now?
Yeah, I'll just turn up now. There's no rush.
All right.
It's not like this is a life or death situation right now.
It is not. No. Okay,
It
so
isn't?
you're all outside the club. You see the others parked up there. So and there's 3 parks kind of next to each other. Well, not far from each other at least. So you can all kind of eyeball one another as you get out of your vehicles or off your bikes.
Hey, Vincenzi.
Hey,
Good to see you.
yeah, it's good to see you too. So what's going on, Lawrence? Am I staying here in the car or what?
Just, I guess, stick around, stay nearby. You don't have to sit in the car, but just stay nearby.
Sure. Okay. So Vincenzi takes out a cigarette and lights it.
I would just
Steps back
not,
away from everybody so he doesn't scare you.
I would definitely not bring him in. You know.
Okay. All right.
Anyway. Thanks, Vincenzi. Goodbye. let's go up to the door.
Yep. Okay, so you get up to the door of the club, and it's early enough that the club has not yet achieved maximum queue volume. So you were relatively quickly processed and sent through inside. You will notice that the security consists of a bunch of faux police, who I described to the others earlier, but they are basically dressed in police-like uniforms, almost like costumes. They're wearing police costumes. They look quite intimidating, and they have metal rods that look like they could be extendable truncheons. But if you want to make perception and security checks, you may notice that they're cattle prods, but it's up to you whether or not you're going to pay attention enough to notice that.
3 successes.
Okay, so you definitely notice that. They're literally carrying cattle prods that have been painted and disguised to look like truncheons, but you reckon they've got like 50,000 volts up them.
I don't know where I appreciate it, but still.
Right.
I'm not wearing clothes that are as colorful as normal. They're gonna be more like brown, but still kind of bells like, and I've got like a hat on.
Okay.
And cowboy boots.
All right. You see a number of other colorful looking people standing around. There's a dude standing near the door who's quite tall and menacing, bald head. His face is just full of metal, various piercings in his face, nose, lips, cheeks, chin, and nose. I said nose, and tattoos. And he's quite a big dude, like he's clearly a bodybuilder of some description or something like that. And he looks at you as you
Hi.
came through. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Get inside.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Take your
Mind if I do?
friends.
Okay.
All right. And you guys all head inside.
Mhm.
Oh, and he is also wearing, incidentally, a black feather boa wrapped around his shoulders and arms, and a fishnet top.
Are we going with Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show here? Is that kind of what we're doing, or?
I'm honestly
Rivet
not
head.
that familiar with Rocky Horror, but I've avoided that whole show my whole life. Remarkably, I managed to get away with it. I don't know how.
Are you going
Sure.
the industrial rivet head look?
Yeah, yeah, something along those lines. So he sends you in. Oh, and he's got that's right. He's got a safety pin literally through his nostrils. So you all go inside, and it's a club. It's a nightclub. There's people dancing. It's a little bit quiet right now, but it's a big club. And you can see 4 sets of stairs that go up in different parts of the room. Obviously, it's dark. There's flashing lights and things. There are archways in the corners that go through to other rooms, and you can see through the haze of cigarette smoke that there are pool tables and people playing pool through those archways in those other rooms, almost like private rooms, but not entirely private, obviously, because they have archways that go through to them. Yes. On the left is the bathrooms. On the right is one of the bars. In the center of the room is the main bar. And the main stairs go up the left-hand side of the room up to a caged entrance, like a fucking metal cage surrounding this door. There's like a gate that goes into the next level. And right there is standing somebody dressed like a cross between a security guard and a gimp.
This place is, they've got a lot of different themes going on.
There's a couple of cages hanging from the ceiling, currently unoccupied.
I want to go up there.
Okay. I knew you were going for that.
I want to, but I didn't bring any underwear today. Oh.
I turn on awe.
Wah! Roll your awe.
Get like 5 successes and you've got everyone that was looking.
Where's that?
Come
Would
on.
you like to spend a willpower point?
Nah.
But
3 successes.
3 successes.
6 people.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. Okay, all right, very good. You get the bartenders, and you get some of the people standing in front of the bar.
Okay, I head over to the bar.
All right, bartender steps forward. He's wearing sunglasses. Says, "Hey, how can I help you?"
Oh, good day, mate. I'll have a bourbon, thanks.
He pours you a bourbon, puts it on the table, and he says that'll be $6.50.
That's fine. $10. Keep the change.
Thank you, sir.
So, what's to do around here at night? Is this the best spot?
It's not just the best spot, sir. It's the only spot.
And how long have you been here for, friend?
12 years and 4 months coming up this next October.
Okay. And so I just start drinking and let the other guys file and do what they're doing.
I'm going to go dance.
You go dance? Very
Yeah.
good. You're dancing on the dance floor, doing the dancey business with the dancers. Okay, that's what you're doing, dancing.
Yeah. What kind of music is this? Just
What kind of music is this presently right now?
yeah. Is Chase going to be better off here, looking like Kirk Cobain before he shot himself?
So far, I'm not thinking so. I'm thinking we're
It's
going a
something,
little
right?
harder. I think we're going a little harder than Nirvana, something tells me.
Let's see. I think I'm doing a search on 90s metal music, and it's all very
Metallica?
mainstream.
It is very,
fucking rubbish.
unless you go way out.
You have to go quite way out. I think they would have. In fact, I'm going to say there is a band here playing right now,
Awesome.
who you've never heard of, called. They're named after like some Norse ship or something. Some fucking. I don't know, like
The Waylanders or something. Okay.
Oh, like
Otie McViting
like
face.
Valkensprang or something like that. They've got like some Norse,
Skith Blufnir.
yeah, something exactly.
That's a real thing.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm gonna be like all up, well, trying to like get up front and just like be
So-
excitedly.
Right. So you got like 3 guys and 3 girls, and the guys are blonde with big beards, and they're and the women then turn around and do this operatic thing in between. Then it's quite contrasty, if nothing else.
Is it appropriate to flash a band like this? Is it? Oh well, let's just do it, shall we? Yeah. Bells, flashes,
Nobody
their boobs.
complains. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. We're in a nightclub with the band.
Right, and you
Yeah.
were a groupie after all, so it's kind of,
And
Right.
Chase is close to me, I take it. I'll turn them around to him and say, damn, music has changed over the last couple of like 20 or 30 years.
Oh, yeah, well, it's not war, is it? Mm,
What is it good for, right?
yeah. Yeah, nah. You know, we should have bought some damn music of our own. And then they
We
would
go play some pool.
Pool?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a pool table over there. Okay, let's go and have a go.
Is the music better where the pool tables are? Because I'm going there if there's better music.
Right.
Remember that there was like different rooms with different music.
No, these rooms currently have the same music because there's just archways between them. They're not like separate clubs. There is a separate club, but you haven't found it yet.
Yeah, because we haven't bought it yet.
Right. So, what are you guys doing presently? You're standing around. You see a couple of black dudes come in, looking very fine in their suits and their sunglasses, and make a perception check, all of you. You filthy neonates.
Perception by
Perception
itself.
alertness.
I'm also looking for an empty pool table,
4.
if that changes the difficulty.
Sorry, what did you?
0, hit 0. I was
I
also
didn't
looking for an empty pool
Perceive
table.
anything.
Right. One moment, please.
So when you get like really bad negatives, does that mean I get to see something that I shouldn't see?
You wish.
How does that work?
You
Is it
saw
kind
my
of like
boobs.
Maybe a
PNG
baseball
or-
bat? No.
Your Belle's boobs. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so now let's have a look at these dice. What did we get? 0 from Garth. Is that correct?
Yep.
-2 from Vincent. Vincent, why are you distracted? What are you looking at? What has got your attention that you are so distracted from
It's
looking
pretty
around?
bloody obvious. It's Bella showing her boobs all over the show.
Right, that does make some sense.
See,
Charlie,
I told you it was distracting. I tried to tell you. If you think her boobs are distracting, wait till she takes her entire clothes off. Now that's distracting.
Charlie,
Yep.
with 4 successes, you think you saw Carol Davis in the back of the room duck through and then out through the back door.
Okay. I'm going to follow her
All right.
if I can.
All right. You get to the back door and there's a couple of dudes there smoking, and one of them looks like a teenager with a like a singlet on. He's a black kid with curly hair, and he looks up at you. You can't go through there. Sorry,
Why not?
it's private.
Just saw a friend come through.
He passes you what appears to be a joint.
Oh, thank you. I
Yes,
take it.
sorry,
Smoking, even
I
though it does nothing for me.
just can't let you through, I'm afraid.
Here you go. And be aware of the embers.
Yeah, thanks.
There you go.
So, what's your name?
And Bella,
Oh, yeah? Nice to
Yeah.
meet you, Bella.
nice to meet you too.
Damien? You can call me
Damien.
Damien.
Damien, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, what are you doing here?
Oh, I was.
There's a lot of
Dishes.
noise.
Yeah, I was flashing my boobs at the lead singer of that band.
He coughs.
Yeah,
Okay, so
brings me back.
this is what you do?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm pretty
Especially with live bands, they appreciate it. They appreciate
Yeah,
seeing skin.
I don't think that would have worked
It
for
helps them
me.
sing better.
Helps him sing better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
hmm
Interesting. So, are you from around here?
No, I'm actually I live in Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And seriously, you came all the way the fuck out here for what? Flashing your boobs at a band? In a
Yeah.
club? You're out of your mind, man. That's what you
Maybe a
came
little.
here for? Maybe a little?
Yeah. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm here with some friends. They're not here for they weren't here to flash their boobs or anything. Luckily,
Oh, wow.
I don't think it was that. I don't think they would be interested in that sort of carry on. But I am.
This guy, the more you're talking to him, the more you realize that he looks like he's about 14 years old. Like he's really underage looking.
This is he? I can't actually tell by any. Sorry, these guys.
By any means.
But I can't tell if a person is vampire by any like discipline means. But can I tell other ways?
You can make a perception alertness check. Or an investigation, actually. Perception and investigation check.
Okay. One day I'll have a character that actually has investigation skill. But 2.
He seems to inhale the cigarette or whatever it is, the weed, but he seems to be breathing when he's talking, but you get the impression he's not really breathing, and his skin when he hands you the cigarette feels cool.
Oh.
He's not at all flushed, and you don't get that radiating heat off his body that you get when you stand in close proximity to people.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
The other issue is I don't know how to approach a person with that information. I'll just start by saying, like, I used to do this a lot in the 70s.
Oh, in the 70s. Wow.
Yeah. There you go. It might give a clue.
Uh-huh.
I don't look 40. So there you go.
He goes, yeah, I kind of picked you as a lick.
Kind of. I can't tell really, but you've got cool skin. Not as warm as most people.
Yeah, that's because I'm a vampire.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case.
So, what are you heading this way for?
There
Shouldn't be going out there, you know.
There was someone I saw that I recognized.
Oh.
You would have seen them come through.
I didn't
right?
see anybody come through here.
Oh.
Nobody
Is he
came
lying?
through here.
Hmm.
You can make a perception and empathy check if you want.
Yeah, perception.
Yeah.
2.
2. He's lying, but he's not really making a lot of effort to lie.
Okay. It's all right if you don't want to tell me the truth. Like, I
Oh
understand.
no, nobody came through here. He looks at you emphatically. You didn't see anything.
Okay. I get it. I think
Cool.
that person's very lucky to have a person like you look up for them.
Well, that's fair. I appreciate that. So, okay, look. Have you fed?
I could do with some more. Some more blood.
Well, when you've fed, come and find me. I'll be around here somewhere.
Okay.
Till
Okay.
then, yeah. What about your friends before you go? Are they like you?
I just nod.
You have the same interests, or are you here for something else?
Well, we really want to see Juggler, but this this scenario,
Yeah.
it's more of a curiosity to us because we need to know. It's hard to figure out what the right thing is to do.
Okay.
I guess is the best way to put it.
Well,
but if going through this door means that person is not going to be safe, then I wouldn't dare. So.
You can think of it like that. That's a good way to think of it. Come and find me when you're fed. You can introduce me to your friends.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
Cool.
All right. I flitter off.
You flitter off. Flitter.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Off you flitter.
Mhm.
Okay. Where do you go?
I'm gonna go into the main room.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go find someone to nom on, but I'm not sure about the. I'm not sure how vampires eat in this place.
Okay.
Like I might try and try and investigate to see
Okay.
how
So
people get around doing
you're
that.
going to spend some time investigating that
Mm-mm.
particular situation. Very good. Laurence, Laurence, what are you doing?
I guess hanging around Vincent and Chase and
Just looking around.
waiting. Yeah.
A fellow in a tan suit made up of two different colored tan paneling approaches you with short brown hair, and he says, "Bonjour."
I'll respond in fluent French.
All right. Fluent French. Very nice. Very
Bonjour.
nice. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
It's one of his languages, so yeah, I'll just respond in French.
All right. Very well. He says, "Oh, monsieur, you speak French."
Oui.
Oui. Oui, oui, monsieur. Very well.
Smooth.
My name is Marc Levesque.
Is he speaking in English or in French?
He's still speaking in French.
Okay. I'll say hello.
You are a friend of my friend, I think.
Which friend is that?
He points over at Bob.
I'll look at him and say, sure.
And I think that your friend and me and perhaps your other friends too may have interesting, shall we say, philosophical interests.
Did you want to talk somewhere privately?
Do you have somewhere private? I don't know this place too well. I've only been here once or twice before.
This is my first time. Shall I get the others?
Sure, sure. Forgive me. Yes, please, if you will.
I'll wander over to the boys and say, I believe this man is here to speak with us. I think you know him, Bob.
So Bob, you definitely know Mark Levesque.
Is this Buddy from the cafe?
It is.
Good evening, Mark.
It is. This is the guy from the cafe, not Hank, but the other guy.
Good evening, Mark.
Bonjour. I hope you're well.
I am.
Do you like this place?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not
I
bad.
was trying to find a pool table, but
There's pool table through there. I saw it. You can play pool there if you want.
cool,
So-
thanks. I was having trouble with that one.
No problem. Upstairs is the VIP place. I think they have something up there, but I'm not sure how to get in. I think
Yeah, I
you
don't
have
think
to
I'd be VIP yet.
need to be friends with someone here, I think. Chase, what are you doing while this is going on? You and Laura, not Lawrence, Vincent.
Oh, sorry, I'm also being rude and introduce people, the people that are around.
All right, so who are these ones then, please?
We have Chase,
Bonjour.
Vincent,
We did meet briefly earlier tonight, I think. And Vincent? Yes, of course.
and
Monsieur
Lawrence.
Juice. And Lawrence, yes, we met just now. And I saw you with a lady before. Is that the one? Points over. in the
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is Belle.
I see. So, Belle, do you come wandering back in this direction at this point yet? Or
I'm still looking for a
So-
place to feed. Where
figuring out the
do the
feeding bus-
vampires go?
Where do the vampires go? Well, okay.
VIP vampire in something?
Yep, you're still having trouble with that. What you're seeing is various people that look like they might be vampires, because you can't tell,
Yeah.
slowly collecting groups of people, and kind of looks like they're in the pre-feed stages of organizing their little groups so that they can go about their business.
And where did they go?
They don't go
They're waiting a
anywhere.
little.
They don't go anywhere. That's
They-
what's weird. They don't feed either. That's the other thing.
Well, we're gonna have a blade situation.
Just gonna be watching. I guess circling and watching.
Okay. And
Hearing the crowd.
the crowd's getting more and more tense, and the room is filling up with more and more people, and there are more and more people here that you just feel might well be vampires. Some of them you may have even seen in Chicago, which surprises you. You see Hank.
No, I go to him. He might know.
There's right. Do you go and see Hank?
Yes.
Well, if it isn't Belladonna.
Hi. Hank. I'm really struggling with this place.
You're struggling with this place? Like, what is there to struggle about?
Where do people go to
feed?
Yeah.
Darling. He looks at his watch. He says, 10 minutes from now, they're going to lock the doors, and you can feed any fucking place you like.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
But you're only going to have 10 minutes to feed.
Okay.
An
That's
hour
kind of
later,
fun.
they're going to do the same thing. It's pretty much every hour on the hour, starting at about 10 o'clock through to about 4.
Okay. Do you want to feed together? You shy.
Sure, if you
It's okay if you're shy.
want to. I don't mind if it makes you feel better.
Oh, come on now. I just having fun.
Having fun, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't need a lot, so
You notice Damien, the guy that introduced himself to you earlier, standing in the corner still, talking to someone else now.
having the same conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see another dude, looks like a rap star.
Who's
amongst the
that
crowd.
guy?
Oh, that's Daddy D, Theodore Daly. Theodore Dooley, my apologies.
Right, okay. What do you know about him?
He's my childer.
Oh, cute. What made you pick him?
Philosophy, of course. What else is there? I like the way he thinks. He's got chutzpah. He's got that kind of spark that says, fuck you and the establishment. I'm going to make it all burn. I'm going to take it all down. And I'll take you with me if I have to. That's what made me sire him, of course. He's
Right.
a rebel.
Awesome.
So, how did you get to be a vampire? You seem like a pretty strange vampire to me.
Oh, is it because I'm pretty tan and
Well,
know,
you just seem
hippie
kind of...
love child?
Yeah, there's all of that. You're just very fucking nice.
Yeah. It was kind of by accident, I suppose.
Sure. He doesn't seem to be entirely listening. He
Right.
walks over to his child and starts having a conversation with
Oh, okay,
Daddy
fine.
D.
I'll wander off then. Find the boys.
All right. What are the boys doing? Chase, what are you doing? Chase.
Okay. Okay, I am trying to play a game of pool, but I can't find a pool table.
Well, there are pool tables, but they're full. So I guess that's why you can't find a pool table, because you can't find an empty one.
Yeah, that's what
All
I'm
right.
looking around for.
Yep, and
Mine-
you notice that all of the pool tables have like a queue, like a not a pool queue, but like a queue of people lined up to play on them, and they've all got their money lined up on the top of the pool table,
Yeah,
ready
yeah,
to go.
like
You know
it's
how it is?
normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the rules.
that's the rules.
Yeah.
So you're kind of aware that there's at least 4 games you're gonna have to wait through before you'll ever get to play a game here.
No.
Unless,
I'm not gonna do that.
you know, unless you're to pull out some of that fancy dominate shit. Just saying.
No.
I don't want to play pool that much.
No, neither do I.
All right, so you guys gravitate back to the bar.
Yeah, we'll go back to the bar.
All right. So Laurence is speaking in French to some strange man who is introducing himself to the others as Marc Levesque.
Mm-hmm.
You've met him, Chase. You met him earlier today.
I'll avoid him like the plague.
You see your good friend Hank among the crowd.
I'll
Barry,
avoid him especially like the plague.
especially like the plague. You see your most excellent friend Vincent, as well as Bella and Lawrence and Bob. I missed that. Did you say that you avoid them like the plague?
Vincent, what are you doing?
I thought I heard. Oh, that's what you're saying. What are you doing? Who are you
Yeah.
talking to?
Vincent.
Vincent?
Oh, I'm just waiting for something. I have a feeling.
You
Just
have
sitting
a
there
feeling.
sipping my drink. Did I notice the other people at the bar when I used my oar gravitate as well?
Probably.
Because there are a couple of them, right?
They're sort of looking at you and paying attention to you. All the ones
Any
at
of
the
them
bar.
wearing glasses by any chance?
Glasses, as in sunglasses or glasses?
Sunglasses.
Two of them. The bartenders are all wearing sunglasses.
No, I mean I can understand.
Pretty sunny in here.
It's a dark nightclub, and that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Future so bright.
Yeah, but here's the problem: in the '90s, people wore bloody sunglasses to nightclubs. It was ridiculous, but it
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did that.
I can completely understand why too.
It's bright.
It was
Yeah, your eyes are generally like,
So did I.
Wear headphones, with the earmuffs, so you can actually preserve
No.
your hearing.
that would have been smart, but no. Yeah. Okay, so what are you guys doing? You're just waiting, chilling?
I'm gonna find Bob, and I'm gonna just hop on his shoulders and be like, "Hey,
how can I help?
hi. What are you guys up to?" I'll hop off.
What are we up to? We're here because Chase wants to meet some dude.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
don't-
why don't
I-
one of us go and talk to the gimp guy,
All right.
gimp suit dude?
Suddenly there is a lighting change,
Oh,
and all of the
feeding time.
lights change to the color red.
Sorry,
What?
gotta go.
The music
What?
also suddenly switches over to some much more hardcore stuff that's coming out of the stereo. No longer are the band playing on the stage. They all walk off. And everybody, it's a free-for-all. People are just feeding.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go up to Hank
Mhm.
because he said that we were going to. Let's go find someone.
Hank's feeding.
Oh, okay. Beat me to it then.
He basically what you realize now, Bella, is everybody was positioning themselves for the last 15 minutes so that when the lights changed, they would just go straight in.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try and look for someone that would
All
be suitable that is not a vampire.
All right.
Oh,
You can
I'm
make a
gonna use-
perception and investigation check.
I'm going to use the glass that I've been drinking the bourbon out of. So I assume that one of the guys next to me is getting nailed right now by someone else, right? Is it all right for me to just, open up the wrist and start pouring into my glass while I'm waiting?
I don't see why not.
I got
Yeah.
2.
2 successes. You eventually find someone who looks like they are also being fed on by somebody else, but that person, Hank looks at you and just passes you the wrist of the person that he's feeding on,
Thank you.
so that you can both feed together.
I'll take 2 points.
All right.
Yeah.
Anybody else feeding right now? You might have to roll self-control not to not feed.
This takes
but
me
I'm-
back to better days.
I know for a fact
You're
they're
here.
probably
You're
not
living
of my
them.
taste, so I'm just having a sip while I'm waiting around.
Right.
Lawrence is at capacity, so he's not drinking.
Okay. Vincent, you're going to find that it's quite vile and
Yeah.
indigestible.
That's a shame. I thought I'd try a sip anyway, and then I put my glass down.
Although, Vincent, you see someone. Can you write me a private message with a very specific description of your taste in it, please? Meanwhile, Chase, do you feed?
Yes.
Definitely, that's why I nod my head. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Very good.
You gotta be a hunter. You better
I'm
find.
I'm more familiar with this version.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, how do you go about it?
I lose my I've got the aura that looks at other people's auras, eh?
Or a perception.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Chase, I believe you do. Yeah.
Algavians do.
Yep.
Yep. You have all specs level 2. Yep.
Pick out a human,
Mm-hmm.
grab their wrist, and go for it.
Very good. It's that easy.
Yep.
How many points do you drink?
2.
Very good. All right. Then you're covered. Well done.
But you, Bobo?
Laurence, Bob, you people, are you drinking this night at this club presently?
Not Lawrence, no, he's full.
Right. Good.
Bobo?
Bob. Mr. Doubleina, Mr. Bob Doubleina, Mr. Bob Doubleina, won't you quit?
No, I won't be. I'm relatively full.
Relatively full. What's that even mean? Like full of relatives?
Yeah, all of them. No, I'm pretty much at my max.
Pretty much. -1 because you woke up.
-2.
-2. Okay. All right.
It was me.
Very good then. Very good. Okay, and after about 10 minutes, the lights change again, the music shifts, and various individuals are placed carefully down on chairs and seats and things.
Poor thing.
Right.
Make sure Alwyn's safe. But that was
And,
fun. Thanks, Hank. Thank you.
Right.
I like this. This is an
Excellent.
interesting way of feeding.
Well, Chase, let's go find this guy for you.
Cannot hear a word that you say.
I grab Chase's arm and lead him off to
Hey,
someone.
okay.
To where? To where?
I don't know, the bartender.
The bartender? All right, you get to the bartender. The bartender looks up at you. Can I help you?
I'm here to meet a juggler, a Mr. Juggler.
Bartender looks at you. He says, "There's no Mr. Juggler here."
Okay,
Okay.
and walk off.
Okay. You walk off.
Go find the others.
All right, you go and find the others. Yeah.
Sniff them out.
Yep, you
Right
find them.
away.
You see these two walking away from the bar right now.
Hey guys.
Hey,
So there's a guy over there. It's just like nudge in the direction. He said to have a feed and introduce everyone to him. He's like us.
well, maybe he knows. who we're
Yeah,
after
maybe
then.
he
I-
knows who we're after.
I
Okay.
saw you know who tonight.
No, I
Michael
don't
Jackson.
No, close.
know. Elvis Presley?
No.
I think
No.
technically Bob wasn't here for that.
Yeah.
Right. The girl does that
We,
help
we
you.
the girl we didn't see.
Yeah.
Ah, the girl. Oh no, you won't know, Bob. We saw a girl we didn't see.
Hey.
You saw
No.
a girl you didn't see.
That's right. We
my
didn't see
God.
her at all. Not at all.
All right, that's right. You're nuts. All right, can someone explain that? Looking
Well-
at you, Belle. What's going on?
Can't really say here because you're in a busy nightclub. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
Okay,
let's go and see
we've got
somebody that we
we've got
can
two
see.
objectives tonight.
Yes.
One is go
Let's-
see
Let's go and
A
see
friend
somebody we
upstairs.
can see.
that person. Okay, yeah.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Okay, this friend yours. Right. Here we
Yeah,
go.
are we gonna go see the friend first and then
Yep.
go? Okay, sweet. We'll go find Vincent and Lawrence as well. Drag them all along.
I'm leaning on the
Close
bar
by.
at the moment, so I'll just walk over and hand Chase a glass of blood that I took from that chick, and
Oh, you are so generous. Ah,
not to my tastes.
oh, okay. He drinks it. It's a bit on the lean side, but that's all right. Yep. All right.
Shall we go?
Lead on, Belle.
Right, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Look cool. Come on, guys.
Speak for yourself.
Look cool. look at me.
Yeah, I'm too busy looking hot over here. So, all right, let's go.
All right, here we go.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Yeah, we
All
go
right.
find Damien.
You're gonna find
14-year-old.
Damien. All
Yeah.
right. So yes, Damien is still hanging around in the undercover part through one of the archways near a sign that says "staff only," that leads somewhere out the back, you assume. And he's sitting there. Well, actually, he's standing talking to another person right now. And he sees you coming, and the other person is a dude. Looks like a blood or something. It's like a
Right.
gangster. And this guy pops through the staff only door, and you see light for a moment, and then boom, it closes again behind him, and you hear it boom, close like it's got some serious lockage behind it.
Does he look dressed up similar to the ghouls that we fought with the Vosht?
Superficially, yeah.
Same style?
Yeah, I mean they're bloods. They're part of the same larger gang. But that's not saying much in the States because the bloods are huge.
Okay. I guess, all right. Lawrence isn't going to say anything. He's just going to mentally note that and carry on.
Okay. Meanwhile, the guy that you're talking to, Damien, turns around to you guys and he looks you all up and down and smiles. He's not very tall. He's not very old. He looks like a 14-year-old black boy with short
So
hair.
hey,
Yeah.
these are my 4 white friends.
Well, hi, 4 white friends. Nice to meet you all. Guess what? You now have a black friend you can tell everyone about.
I guess I'm kind of like half and half.
So,
I'm Native American and all.
yeah.
Cappuccino.
I'm a cappuccino? Okay.
So, what are you guys all doing here? You looking for someone? You looking for a good time? Did you enjoy the session?
That's crazy.
Hmm.
That was really cool. Wait, you said for us to come here after
I did, and now you're here.
yeah.
I'm just asking you how it went.
Oh, it was great. Yeah.
We're going to do an aura perception. real quick.
Excellent.
Right? Or
Success.
perception. 1 success. He's a vampire.
Damn it.
Okay, so can you perhaps get us in touch with the guy who runs the place? Or there's a guy named Juggler I would like to talk to.
You want to talk to Juggler?
Yeah.
Why didn't you fucking say so, man?
Because, well, you know,
we
it
didn't know how.
it took
go
me a
about
while
it.
to figure out you were a vampire even. So
Well, look, I mean, I'll go and organize something for you to meet him and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you met him before? Do you know him? Is he a friend
No.
of yours?
Not yet.
Not
Okay,
yet.
so let me get this straight. You guys just came down here from Chicago to the nightclub, to the Rose Garden, and you figure you're going to go and hang out with Juggler and you're just going to sign up and become anarchs? Have you got like some kind of anarch leaning to begin with? Or because look, Juggler's going to interrogate you, okay? He's going to ask you questions. He's going to want to know if you're really anarchs or if you're just a bunch of fucking tourists, right? Because if you're tourists, he's going to shoo you away. He's going to give you like some little friendly thanks for coming. Here's a card. Here's your anarch card. You can put it in your pocket and wave it around at bus drivers, and fuck off. Okay, that's what he's going to do if you don't have some kind of real anarch heritage. Do you know what I'm saying?
right, okay. We're here because
Like this guy here does not look like an anarch. He turns around to Vincent.
it's true.
Well, I can speak for myself, but I'm keen to meet him.
Right. And Lawrence, what are you dressed in? What do you look like right now? You don't really
This is
look like
regular
an anarch,
old
currently.
suit.
Like a suit, okay.
I just want to say I'm dressed as a bogan right now.
That's
and I'm
true.
still dressed, so I very much look like an anarch. Thank
Okay,
you.
you
very much.
actually do look like. All right, I take it back. He points that out of Lawrence instead.
That's way better. Thank you.
All right,
Bloody non-anarch
You
looking
didn't get the
motherfucker.
memo.
It's not a poser.
fair cool. Fair cool.
Aw.
Okay, well, look, I'll go and talk to the guy, and good luck. Good luck. I
Alright.
mean, he could change your life, man. This guy could change your life. Everything you've learned about being a vampire so far can go out the window in like 1 minute. When you meet Juggler, he can change your opinion of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds like bullshit. I'll just go and get him. See
I'm
how
all
we go.
keen to listen.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm Damien, and I'll see you around. I'm Bruja, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Walks off. He gives you a, and he goes
Super
off
cute.
to the bar, talks to the bartender. Bartender nods, and reaches underneath the bar. At which point, Damien walks through the crowd to the stairs. The stairs are inside this cage that go up the wall to another cage that's like an airlock cage to stop people from getting through. And then he's allowed mechanically through those doors, which are released and then relocked again mechanically and remotely, past the gimp who's on the stairs as well. And he disappears.
I
So
wonder if Juggler put the guy in the gimp suit or if he just chose to be in the gimp suit.
or if
Well, someone
Juggler,
had to help him, obviously. It's good.
maybe Juggler is the guy in the gimp suit.
Okay.
We're not here to judge, but I'm
Yeah,
just
man.
saying it's a two-man job.
Anyway, we need to think about what we're gonna say to this guy. Chase,
Genius.
Well,
speak up.
all
You
I
know,
wa- no,
you know what you want.
yeah, that's all I want.
I also think we need to like find out more about these guys. So just act interested. Even if you are interested, don't bother acting then, like myself.
I think
Yeah.
I might go and sit at the bar while you guys have your meeting.
Probably
leave
should.
this one out. I don't think these are my type of. No, I'm gonna
Maybe
go
it's
sit
good
at the
to be
bar.
honest.
I walk away and I go sit at the bar.
Okay. All right, you go and sit at the bar. A few minutes later, Damien comes back downstairs again. And he says, well, you have an appointment. Let's go.
All right.
Thanks.
Woo!
So who's going? Everybody else is going?
Yeah.
Chase, let's go.
Yep.
Everybody goes upstairs. Okay.
Okay.
You go upstairs and you find yourselves in a lounge. It's a very large lounge with blue electric lighting. And there's a sign-in guest book. And there's
Sign in?
Right. Sign in. There's nobody else in this room right now. And there's a couch. I lie, there's two couches and a coffee table. And Damien just goes and sits down on the couch. The music in here is a lot quieter. You can hear yourself think. And after about 2 minutes, one of the walls slides open, like it literally, the wall itself just slides open like it was a secret door. Woof. And there's another room behind it, which is quite similar to the room that you're already in, about the same size, but with really nice paintings and shit on the walls. Big fucking pieces of art from that look like museum pieces, or from galleries, or from mansions, or from very old houses. You're not really sure, obviously, and some very nice furniture in there too. And this dude comes out with a what looks like some sort of semi-automatic pistol slung under their jacket, and gives you this wave. This guy's got sunglasses on too.
Inside. Come on,
And
Lawrence. Come on.
come on, Lawrence.
I'm
Come
with
on.
you guys.
We'll just
Coming.
wheel him in on a trolley.
Reel him in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking about
What you talking about, Willis? All right. So you guys all head in, and the door closes behind you, and you become aware that there is a man sitting on another couch in this room, a sofa. There's a coffee table and another sofa on the other side. In this big hollowed space on the floor, big glass table between you and the other side, and this guy's sitting casually smoking a cigarette. He's got shoulder-length blonde hair. He looks pretty normal or attractive, but like Kurt Cobain, actually, weirdly enough.
We already have one.
Weirdly enough, now you've apparently this guy looks like him with the right hair and everything. But
Sorry, Chase.
sorry, Chase. Chases, he's like, dude,
It's
you've got my
alright.
clothes. What the fuck?
It's alright. It's alright.
Guys, we're the same thing.
You know, completely sucked my entire night. Yes, go on. Yes,
And this dude, he ashes his cigarette and he begins to stand up. He's wearing a pastel pink suit.
Nice.
Choice.
And he takes a drag on his cigarette and he says, well, you're looking for me.
Hello, I'm Belladonna Rivers. These are, please introduce yourselves.
I'm Chase Hamilton.
I'm Bob
And-
Lapointe.
Mhm.
Lawrence Harrington.
Nice to meet you, Lawrence. Well, nice to meet all of you. I'm the one they call the Juggler. I'm just going to stick with that. You can imagine why, I'm sure. It's not hard to guess. Though in some places they still like to call me Smiling Jack. At a game, you can all make perception, wits and
Let's hear the Smiling Jack from the
Academics.
video game.
no.
Oh,
Unless there's
So
a
many.
vampire. Is there a vampire game that has Smiling Jack in it?
yeah. The first Bloodlines.
But
I'm
I
sure.
think that was 2002.
I never played
Because
that.
it came out just as Half-Life 2 was coming out.
See, I was
I think he
using
was
these.
Gangrel.
I used these names
Yeah.
before they'd appeared in some of the NPC lists, but I was using them before they'd turned them into NPCs.
Don't worry about that then.
Yeah.
What was that? Sorry, perception and alertness.
Perception and I guess so. Yeah, it's really a history check is what I'm wanting.
Oh,
Can
that's
you do mine,
probably
Russell?
not a history check. Then it
Yeah.
would be
What's an acronym?
Because the Sabat might know about them.
Academics.
intelligence. Academics?
Yeah, intelligence. Yeah, why not intelligence and academics? That sounds like a plan.
It's a horrible
I like
roll there. Oh, yeah. Horrible for me. Good job, Lawrence. Good job. Your brain. This is your superpower. Oh, God.
Intelligence and academics.
0 from me.
0 from me too.
I'm not an academic.
Really?
Trash it.
1, 2, 3,
Intelligence
4, 5. How did?
and academics.
What did I just roll? Is that even possible?
3 and 3.
3. Holy crap. Okay, Chase has 3 dots in academics. Who the fuck knew? I guess you have to do academics to become a pilot, so there's that.
Yes.
Okay, so Chase, oddly enough, you have heard of Smiling Jack. Smiling Jack is in connection with the Anarch Free State.
Okay.
Anarch Free State leader, according to what you've heard. All right.
Anarch Free State leader, he says.
He looks over at you. He says, if there was a leader among them, I would be the one.
Well,
So, I understand you are the replacements then.
You know about us.
Well, I've been following the exploits of the Chicago Queen Coterie for some time. The last
Makes
one of you
sense.
to come here visited me was a fellow by the name of Gus. Last I heard, he blew himself up in the Sears Tower. That's so the story goes.
That's one version of the story. I'm looking sad.
He was a friend. So,
I heard.
I am neither impressed with the status quo in Chicago, nor am I impressed with the actions of the Sabat at this point. So I would consider myself to be something of an ally to you, at least for now.
Well, that's good.
Who's your friend downstairs that decided not to come up?
If you want to ask, we can go and see if he wants to come up here. He has his own reasons for not wanting to.
Well, I can only imagine what they might be. And You can tell him that my imagination is probably far worse than the truth. Why
Oh,
don't you go and get him?
okay. If you want to catch him up, Chase, you might as well, and I'll go get
Anyway,
Vincent.
the prince has brought us together. That is true. He has. We are all inexperienced in what he wants us to do. Personally, I have come here for one reason, and I want to make it clear it has nothing to do with anything the prince wants.
Oh, well, what's that then?
I have been told that you are the man to see about. See, I want to live over here in Gary, not in Chicago.
I see. So you were petitioning to join the legions of the damned that live here?
I am, if you wish to put it that way, petitioning. I want to start a helicopter business.
I see. Wow.
Import, exports, and tourism.
Gary is not the prettiest city for tourists, so I hear.
I know that, but there's a lot of import. Things I could import. Being as I'm a helicopter pilot, I haven't got a helicopter yet, but I will have.
I see.
But I'd like not to cause trouble with you, especially.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Chase, was it?
Yes,
Mr. Hamilton?
yes.
Have you spoken to Modius?
No, I have not spoken to Modius. But I thought I would see you first and receive your advice on how to deal with Prince Modius. As
Well,
I have never seen the gentleman or met him. I've never had that pleasure.
well, you are not obligated to have seen him or met him. After all, you've only come to Gary for one night. One needs to be residing in a city for 3 nights before one is obligated to see a prince.
Yes, of that I am aware, but I thought I'd get your advice on how to approach him in this
Well,
kind of matter.
let me put it to you quite straight, Mr. Hamilton. The Prince of Gary, Modius, is insane. He has lost his mind. He is a man without means, without power. He is prince only in title and in mentality. He has few supporters. Not to say that he has absolutely no supporters, because that would not be true. And you should be aware that he does hold the tiniest bit of power by proxy through some of his greatest and oldest supporters, who will not let go of a dead thing.
Yes.
So, when you speak to the prince, and you can find him, and he writes an address on a piece of paper and he slides it across the table to you. You can find him there. There's no point in making an appointment because Modius doesn't have a telephone. Because he still lives in 1764, motherfucking idiot. So go and see him, tell him your business, make sure that he's acknowledged your presence, and then you can do whatever the fuck you like. You want to start a business in Gary? I say go for it. If you want to steal a fucking chopper from the freaking, I don't care, the bank's rescue helicopter, you go do that. I don't give a damn. This is not my city. This club is mine. This is what I care about, and these people. I care about these people. But the city, to me, that's just bricks and mortar and walls and stuff. At this point, Vincent, did you come up? Or not? Bella went to get you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Did she?
Hi.
Well, yes. Sorry. Yes.
Hi. So Juggler would like to see all of us, you included.
No.
Just be
okay.
honest, okay?
All right. Yeah. walking
Okay.
along with her then.
Okay. So did you hear the description of the rooms and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you go in there and they escort you in.
Fancy digs, normal looking person, blonde
By the
hair.
way, they know he knows about us already, by the way. The coterie.
He knows about the predecessors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just you've got warning.
He looks
Have
up at
fun.
you as you come
Whoosh.
in.
I
So
cast awe as I walk in.
Okay. Go for your life.
Oh,
Roll your awe.
let's do it.
Oh, 7, right? 3 successes.
You are 1, 2. Ooh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna. Everybody except Joe is awed. Joe and Juggler. So
MMU.
Chase, Bob, and Charlie.
And I spend willpower
It's
not
6
to be awed.
people.
6 people?
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
6 people? You're right. Okay, fair enough. Everybody in the room is awed except for Juggler.
Wow, Vincent, you look great tonight. I would flash my boobs at you any day.
Fuck you.
It's so bad.
Maybe another time.
Right.
I
You
ain't
sure?
like that anymore.
Are you sure? Like, okay.
I've already seen plenty at the moment. That'll be fine.
Okay, so Juggler watches you come in and you attempt to awe him, and he smiles back at you. Greetings. Do you know who I am?
From what I've heard, your people call you the Juggler. Nice to meet you.
Now let's clear this up immediately, because I do find it irritating. People call me the Juggler. I'm not the Juggler. I am just Juggler. They're different. There's 2 different things. The Juggler, Juggler. I'm Juggler. It's casual. It's not a title. It's a name.
Okay, pleasure to meet you, Juggler.
Pleasure to meet you. And I understand you are the Mark II edition.
Mark II edition of who?
Hopefully 2.0.
The Coterie.
From what I understand, we're a new coterie that is sadly have to pick up the job of the last one.
Was it Theseus? Was it Theseus?
Was it Theseus what?
No, it wasn't Theseus.
Which saying are we going for?
Out of game, I'm trying to recall the name of the dude who had the thing that if you replace enough parts, is it still
Yes,
the same?
Theseus's ship.
Theseus.
That's Theseus, yes.
Theseus, yeah.
So Theseus's coterie then.
Shit, that works.
Who's
I guess you could
Theseus?
definitely call it that.
It's a
So-
Greek
Looking
mythological hero.
confused.
You're here now. You have a plan. You want some sort of support. You're looking for something from me. You want me to help you in some way. I can offer you guns, safe havens, equipment, and also, as of yesterday, information.
And what information might that be?
Well, you are aware of a large gang organization called the Bloods.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, one of your Prince's Brood members by the name of Kevin Jackson is in control of the Bloods in Chicago. Now, one of his gangs, one of the subsets of the Bloods, a gang working for the Bloods, was recently attacked in Gary only days ago and had all their things taken.
Where is this? Sorry.
Gary?
Yeah, but what was taken? Where?
Well, I don't know all the details, but I know that Kevin's crew, one of his crews got hit, and they don't know who hit them, except to say that they were scared the fuck out of.
Okay.
Something about black tentacles, weird creatures sound familiar?
Very familiar.
Unbelievably familiar.
So I did some investigating, and there's a ship that's been sitting in the Chicago dockyards for the last 4 years, rusting. Now, it's not listed. Nobody owns it. There's no names connected to it, and nobody's talking about it. What do you suppose that is all about?
Do you think maybe it's a haven for something?
Do you think?
I mean, it is something probably worth investigating.
Well, my
Um,
job here is done. So, is there anything else that I can help you with? The ship is called the Little Empress, by the way.
Little Empress. Okay.
I have a question for you, Juggler.
Yeah.
What do you know about the sleeper myth?
The sleeper myth. Well, it's possible. There may well be an ancient Methuselah laying beneath the city of Chicago, waiting for the right time to rise up and devour all its children at the time of Gehenna. Who knows? Some say that Gehenna is close. The signs have been recorded. This is what they call the time of thin blood. There are vampires walking the earth now, lower than 13th gen. We've heard so much as 15th generation vampires. Their blood is barely vampire blood at all. They can walk in the sun.
Daywalkers?
Well, you can call them that.
Okay. Thank you.
Why haven't we been told about this if it's accurate?
Why haven't you been told about this? My
Yeah.
poor child. You've spent so much time among the Camarilla, you have no idea what's true and what's not. They only tell you what they want you to know. There's so much that they're not telling you. Look, I'm not going to go and destroy your world by telling you what you'll go back to your sires and your elders and they will tell you that I'm a liar. They'll tell you that everything I say is that I am the father of lies. I've been called that, you know. But the truth is, nobody knows where we came from, where vampires come from. There's a lot of conjecture, and a lot of people like to say, oh, well, it was Cain, and they just leave it at that. Oh, well, it's Cain. We come from Cain. Obviously, we come from Cain. Oh, well, they must be older vampires. Well, obviously, they must be vampires. Where the fuck are these elder vampires? Have you ever asked yourself that? Where are they, and what are they doing? And when are they coming back, and who are they going to eat when they do so?
Out of character, is the thing where if your parent vampire dies, then you die as well?
No, that's not a thing.
Not a thing in this?
Not a
Okay.
thing in this, no.
Thank God. I hate that trope.
Similarly,
Can you take it as a flaw though?
can you take it as a flaw? Would you like to take it as a flaw, Gary?
Oh, I personally wouldn't, but
Right.
I like it. They do have like some of the other random ones in there as flaws,
Right, that's true.
like
And some of
crossing
them,
water.
right, and some of them are in fact just clan flaws,
Mm.
like the La Sombra flaws. They cannot see themselves in mirrors, for example.
We have reflections, but they don't.
Yeah, everybody else has a reflection, but this one clan can't see themselves in mirrors. And then you get Gangrel, who basically make up for the werewolf trope. So, you know, all these different
Yeah.
clans, each clan kind of represents a different vampire, werewolf, supernatural trope.
Like
Yeah.
original Dracula turned into a wolf, didn't he?
He did, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Had some badass red armor.
I'm close to OG Dracula. I can
Right.
do that. What? I'm excited.
You should be very excited.
Mm.
So,
Dracula.
so what else can I help you with? You want to know more about Gehenna?
What do the anarchs believe of Gehenna?
Well, the anarchs, you can't say what do the anarchs believe, okay? That doesn't make sense. The anarchs are a large group of vampires who are not Camarilla, and they're not Sabat. So they don't believe any one thing. They believe whatever the fuck they want to believe because they're all a bunch of individuals. Does that make some clarity there?
Mm-hmm.
I only meant that the anarchs aren't Camarilla or Sabat
Right.
for a particular reason, and so they must teach their own different things.
Have you ever heard of the Convention of Thorns?
As Lawrence?
Lawrence, can you make a intelligence and academics check, please?
I have not.
0.
Have I heard of it through the Sabat? Have they ever yapped about it?
I'll tell you in a second.
Are we talking about the treaty?
Sounds like a Batman storyline. The Convention of Thorns.
Right. Convention of Thorns was a peace agreement between the leaders of the Camarilla and the Anarchs and several other smaller factions. It marked the end of open conflict between us. Since that time, the Convention of Thorns has been breached over and over and over and over again by the Camarilla.
Cold War tactics.
Cold War tactics, yeah. So it occurred at an abbey, the Abbey of the Sacred Crown, just outside of a small village called Thorns near Silchester in England. How do I know this shit? Because I was there.
How long ago was that?
A few hundred years ago.
Or a perception.
Or a perception.
Okay.
Go for your laugh.
0 successes.
He might be lying, or he could be telling the truth.
Shit.
Not sure if he's a vampire either.
Right. You're also not sure if he's a vampire. He could be a werewolf. Or it could be Cthulhu.
Maybe we should. Well, we haven't really introduced ourselves like properly. I don't even think we said our name. Wait, we did say our names. Well, anyway, I'm Belladonna of Clan Gangrel.
All right.
Gus was he. Yeah.
While you're talking, he stands up and walks around the room and goes and opens a box, takes out a scroll, puts it on the table, and then copies and pastes it into the group chat.
I see.
That's some high tech.
Yeah.
It's not going to fit in the group chat, so here's the easier.
Discord.
Yeah, let's try the Discord. Yeah, okay, we'll do Discord.
Roll 20.
It probably won't fit in there either, to be honest. It's what I'm pasting is it's a medium-sized document.
What, like 2 kilobytes? 3?
I don't know, bro. Hold on a second. I'm just going to use Discord. I'm halfway there now.
If you paste it in Discord, it'll turn it into a text document anyway.
Yeah.
It's too big,
That's
so.
true, yeah. Here. Chicago. Paste. Woof. Upload as a file. Yeah. There it is. So, Barry, obviously you can't read this.
I've seen the Convention of Thorns before.
All right, so you know what it's generally about.
I had to learn it for a whole game, remember?
I do remember that. It was a few years back, so I wouldn't be surprised if.
Did you just
forgotten some
paste
of
the
this
Convention
stuff.
of Thorns? Did you? So it's just the rules between the
One
two.
of my characters I did with Russell was actually at the Convention of Thorns.
We did, although I was a player in that game,
Yeah, that's right.
and I staked Rafael de Carza.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
But anyway. Okay. So there you go. He's given you this thing to look at. He's not going to let you take it, just for your information. This looks like a very old copy of it in red ink on very old parchment.
So this is the original.
It's not the original thing. It's a copy of the original.
I guess they didn't have Xerox back then, so it'd be
No,
a
no.
very, very fancy copy.
It's very fancy, done by a monk probably over a period of like a week or something.
May I ask a question?
It's got all this frilly shit and pictures around the edges of it. Yeah, what's your question?
Loden probably thinks that we work for him. Would I be right?
I don't know what Loden thinks, but that's quite a reasonable conjecture.
What if we just wanted to work for, I know this sounds corny, for vampirism in general?
Well then, welcome to the club, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're an anarch. That's what an anarch is. That's what we do. That's the whole fucking point here. We don't need hierarchies and princes and all of this bullshit. We're vampires. We can do things. We don't need to be controlled like we're a bunch of babies that don't know what we're doing. Trust me, I have been around for a little while longer than, shall we say, many vampires. And I have noted something, a deep flaw in my compatriots, in my those of my own age group and ilk, and that is they are so fucking insecure. They are so afraid of giving anything to anyone younger than themselves. They are terrified of having their power bases stripped from them, and they will do anything to stop it. I, on the other hand, have a different take on all of this. I'm not afraid to die, first of all. I am beyond the point where that matters to me. What I am concerned about is that our kind continues to work and try to reach some kind of harmony with the kind. Do you understand?
I do.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm
And you-
Malkavian, but I understand.
And you believe that we shouldn't have any kind of accord with the kind?
Accord with the kind?
Or
Sure.
accord? Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this word you're saying? Kind?
Kind means humans.
Okay.
Kindred
base.
and kind.
It's the muggles of the vampire world.
Right. So the kindred of the
That makes him
vampires.
Voldemort, basically.
Right, basically. You haven't even met Voldemort yet. All right. So, what do you think so far? Now, I know you've come across some Sabbat vampires. Did they tell you anything different?
Bells and I met Philip Brigard. Philippe
Philippe.
Brigard.
You did, huh?
Have you met him before?
He's tried to approach me several times, and I have scared him away.
Why did he approach you? What was he after?
Me, of course. He wants my power and my fucking power base and my support. If he had my support, if Philippe Brigard and myself were to join together, we could take Chicago tomorrow.
We were assuming we could appropriate him for questioning. And soon learned that he had quite a following. He even convinced Loden's child to his side, we believe.
Truly, the one called Jin?
That's
Yes.
not accurate.
We're assuming. He's
don't
not,
know.
He's not
That
been
is-
seen since.
It's such a huge assumption. It might be that, that maybe there's something else at play. Like he might be captive or something.
All
Can't
we know
just
is
assume
that
that's
after
dangerous.
speaking with Philippe, Jin has not been seen since.
If Regard has this individual, Jin, who, as far as I am aware, is the prince's very own childer, there is every likelihood that this Jin is in a box somewhere. Possibly with or without limbs.
Horrible to think.
Possibly
assume-
with or without orifices and senses.
But yeah, Philippe tried to convince us of their way, of the Sabbat way, and of accepting Gehenna, bringing it about, that it was close.
Honestly, it sounded like bullshit at the time.
Right. Well, I imagine it did sound like bullshit.
It seemed too far-fetched, but now that you're saying it, I'm more likely to believe you than him. He's the bot for one.
You shouldn't underestimate the Sabbat. Just because they are a psychotic bunch of fuckwits doesn't mean that they're wrong. They have certain things in perspective, in some cases, much better perspective than anyone else.
Actually, you're right.
They understand things without making value judgments or ethical layers of ethical bullshit on top of it. What I can tell you is that what the Sabbat believe and what I believe are very similar, except to say that they want to bring about Gehenna, I want to prevent Gehenna, and the Camarilla doesn't even believe in Gehenna, and therefore they are fucked.
Sounds accurate. Maybe
Well-
I should. Do you think Inyanga will be able to help me out with believing in this? Do you think she'd believe in it?
I
Surely
don't
you know Inyanga, right?
I've never met Inyanga.
Really?
Really? She doesn't. The Primogen of Clan Gangrel does not make personal visits to the anarch leader of the fucking South Side.
Fair enough.
It would not be seemly.
Yeah.
But you would be surprised who does.
Mm.
So it's safe to assume you want to prevent whatever the Sabbat are trying to do.
Let me put things in perspective for you. I don't want to destroy the Camarilla. I want to save it. But I cannot save it from itself if it is destined to be a bunch of fools leading the blind. That is an impossible situation, and if that continues to be the situation, something will have to be done with the Camarilla, because the current situation is untenable. As we get closer to the end of times, things have to change. As for the
Try to
Sabbat,
to save him again.
Yeah.
Is he saying this?
So what do you think will be the issue? What do you think
do
will
I believe
start
is the issue?
Gehenna? What do you think would start all of this?
He looks up at you.
Are we the issue, like us
He says-
tampering with Sabbat stuff, or what?
Gehenna is almost certainly already begun.
And then what can we do in order to prevent it?
We need to stop the Sabbat from tracking down the sleepers and awakening them.
So you do believe they're real?
I can't say that the ones in Chicago are absolutely real. I don't know if that's true. I know that there are sleepers. I believe that there are sleepers. And
Well, they're planning something.
Between you and me, Lawrence, if I had to guess, I would say that there is at least one sleeper in Chicago. There are stories dating back of two. If you dig far enough, those stories relate to vampires very, very ancient, whose origins predate Greece.
Do they predate the out of character? Do they predate clans as well?
No.
So sleepers belong to clans.
Sleepers are probably the progenitors of clans. So, out of game, the generation system basically goes back to third generation. The third generation vampires are the vampires who started each clan. So, the third generation.
Hogwarts.
So you have like Nosferatu, third generation vampire that created Clan Nosferatu. The vampire named Ventru started Clan Ventru. Clan Malkavian was started by Malkav, and so on. Tremere is actually a weird exception to this, and you might not know the actual history of the Tremere being a Tremere because they are a very odd little order of fish.
Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff, basically.
Right.
Okay. So back in character.
Mhm.
Lawrence will ask, what clans do you believe they would belong to? Here, the sleepers of Chicago.
Well, if the lore is true that I have looked into, I would say that one of them is almost definitely a Toreador, and the other is quite likely a Bruja.
I'm trying
We
to keep a straight
intercepted.
face.
We
Bells.
intercepted.
Yep. Bells, you're going to make a deception check of some
I'm
description.
so-
Subterfuge.
So bad at eyes.
Charisma and subterfuge. Sorry, Joe, go on.
Ah.
A couple of days ago, we intercepted blood bags owned by the Sabbat, and they were very chatty around.
I see.
No.
What did you learn?
So bad at this.
That within a few days, some high-ranking members of the Sabbat will be visiting Chicago
Oh.
to wake the sleeper, as they said.
The equivalent of a prince and the equivalent of a archon.
Also, they said seek the sleeper, not wake the sleeper.
Seek the sleeper.
Interesting.
The titles they use are bishop and
Paladin? Was it Paladin? Right. Paladin.
I see. Well, that brings things forward considerably. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
my subterfuge roll was pretty abysmal. So
the coterie is supposed to be investigating all of this. So
There is this is going to prove difficult. I may need to put you in touch with some people.
how is this difficult?
How's this difficult?
They not have like a cell phone.
No, that's not the difficult part.
Okay.
The contacting them is the easy part. The dealing with them is the hard part. I have to think about this. You might need to give me some time to think.
well, we don't have
But you have certainly enlightened me as to the new time scale of things. I appreciate that, and for that I owe you some sort of boon.
Time scale?
I'll take a +3 longsword if you got one.
Smirk.
Okay.
I have only a +3 fridge.
I was asking for. Oh no, you go, Barry.
Mr. Juggler, I know this is your haven, and I suppose I'm a bit cheeky asking this, but can you leave the room for a couple of minutes while I talk to my friends about something really important?
You can put the wall back up.
Of course I can give you that space.
Just a little while.
Of course. Come and knock when you're done.
Okay.
He walks off and goes through the door, and the wall closes. Whoa.
All right.
Is this where I pocket one of the paintings?
You
Good
don't
luck.
need any.
They're huge.
Hey, here, you
have
won't
a
get them in
portable
your
hole?
pocket,
Yeah,
mate.
we need a portable hole.
What you can do is you can try and recognize whether the paintings are real or not.
Is that the Mona Lisa?
They have the painter's name on them, surely.
Does somebody else have a bag of holding on them?
No.
No. Portable hole if it's a huge painting.
Right. Go on, Barry.
Guys, should we tell him about the warehouse that we heard about?
I've been thinking maybe we should bring her up. We should bring her up, not the warehouse.
Which warehouse are you referring to, Barry?
Okay, no,
But I at the same time, I think now's not the time for us to talk to anyone about her.
I don't know. I
We
think
still-
this guy would be at least on the up and up.
You don't know
I-
what we're talking about.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
we
And-
want to
and
pull
all-
you in. This is never the right time.
In all honesty, I'm not much of a of an anarch fan, but in saying that though, this seems like an anarch problem. I mean,
If a
technically,
vampire's kicked out of the Camarilla, exiled, then Anarch seems to be like the next place they'd go.
I think he knows about her.
I think he
Anyway.
probably would. I mean, if only I knew if she was at this club or anything.
But
If he
I
does,
think now's not the right time to talk about this because we are trying to balance between Camarilla and Anarch, right? We're trying to balance.
Yeah.
yeah.
By
yeah.
adding another puzzle piece, it just
Well, I was thinking.
unbalanced. So
I was thinking this man might have the capability of finding the place if he doesn't already know where it is, and
well, then we leave her out of it and we just ask, right?
Is this the warehouse she talked about?
We could do that. We could just basically say we've heard of a warehouse that might contain this sort of information, and whether or not you have any details of that, that could work.
yeah.
But then again, he's probably the most likely to benefit from finding something like that.
But in all honesty, if Loden is guilty of those crimes, then by all means he should benefit from it. Like, I mean,
Say
if-
what?
Oh, right. We still,
Guilty
we
of
still
what
haven't,
crime? What are we talking about here?
we still haven't told him.
Maybe you should have been there last week, buddy. And then you
yeah, you should, maybe someone should have logged in last week. But did you watch
He was
the?
sick.
A headache, you say?
Yeah. Well, I know
Was
what happened,
Bob-
but I
was
wasn't
Bob
there. So.
there in the background at that time?
Yeah, technically was Bob there? Like technically.
I don't think he was. He was because he went back to Mark.
When you're not
Levesque
there,
and-
they
All right, well then you
Yes.
put your foot in your mouth.
Okay.
Well, I don't care. Like legitimately, I don't care about Anarch. I don't care about Camarilla. When it comes to things where if Loden is guilty of committing crimes, then I think he should be exposed for it regardless, because that is a break of the Camarilla rules, and that's something I don't condone.
And that's just
I'll tell Bob
Anything that makes the ladder shorter.
what do you know of it?
That is quite true.
Damn it. Been through stuff.
It's like
No.
like
Why
the
don't we
Wizards
give that
of,
information to someone that actually can leverage it?
the
well,
Wizards of
he
Unseen
might be
Universe.
able to.
He would definitely be able to, and he has the power to possibly take on Loden as well. So
Well,
it
he-
probably, if
Oh
anyone,
my God.
if anyone should have the information, I think this is probably the best person. I think we should put it to a vote. I think that's the most fairest way for us to do it at this point.
Okay, I vote yes.
I agree,
Uh,
but we
it's
keep
about
the
the
girl out
warehouse,
of it.
about the warehouse, but not the girl.
Yeah, keep the girl out of it.
I'm in, so there we go. Let's.
Bob, just agree with us, okay?
Oh, I
Yeah,
do.
Majority vote.
Excellent.
Is it a
Well,
majority
just-
vote or a consensus?
Curiosity.
Well, anyway,
what's
I was
your
probably going
thoughts
to
on
mention
this,
the warehouse and
Lawrence?
stuff anyway.
What's your thoughts on this, Lawrence? Like, do you agree with what we're proposing?
We've got ourselves entangled in a lot of complex webs right now. From what I
Classic.
understand, Juggler is somebody that we can trust to assist us in this.
I mean, we're not going to put Carol in danger or anything. So, I mean, that's the important thing, is keeping her safe, right? That's what we're all agreed upon, is
Yeah.
we're worried for her safety. And this.
I'm not
gives him-
concerned about her safety.
Well, it sounds like this guy's all about
That's good to know,
safety as a
Lawrence.
whole.
Yeah,
mean.
I
You
agree,
were so,
Bob.
when we met her, you were so like
So busy
keen on
with
her
colds.
safety. No, you were so keen on her safety. You asked her about like how she's gonna get home. Okay.
I forgot I did that. It's been a while.
you were so kind. You were such a gentleman, and now here we are.
He's a true member of the Owl Boys.
Yeah, boys.
Oh,
But anyway, yeah.
Alright,
Let's go and tell him. Well,
Okay.
ask him. Let's go ask him.
Okay. How
So
do
you
we
knock,
get him
on
back?
you knock on the wall again.
Yeah.
All right, the door opens. And
How do you knock, Chase?
How
You're
do you-
gonna
How
do
do I
the
knock?
shit.
give the knock. Give the knock.
Yeah.
Give the knock.
Right. And he backs back real fast.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Right. Wall opens.
Was that
And-
Sandstorm?
Yeah.
Juggler walks in, the cigarette in
Yeah.
one hand, lights it as he gets to the door. So, you've come to some kind of conclusion, I assume.
Which one of us?
Yeah, go on, Belle.
No, go on,
Well,
Chase.
You're the one that's got a story to tell.
All right. I will tell
Okay,
it,
but
Laura.
with tact.
Right.
Okay.
That's true.
Well, you have my
attention.
attention, says Juggler.
Anyway.
This might
sorry,
not work out well. Sorry, Juggler.
Sorry, Juggler.
Yeah, go on.
It has come to our attention that there is a warehouse that is full of Loden's mistakes. And before you ask who told us this, we cannot tell you.
Shut up,
Because-
Jason. Shut up. That was good enough.
Oh, good. Thank you.
You ruined it at the end there.
Oh, sorry.
But you did so well up until then.
All right. So you say there's a warehouse full of Loden's mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll lean into that, Chase.
You want me to continue now?
Yeah, but you don't have to say who told you.
I'm not gonna.
Go on, I believe in you.
All right. Now, he's got all his mistakes apparently in this warehouse on tape.
When you say mistakes, what do you mean by that?
Well, all the things he's done wrong.
You remember Gus?
He's got,
Footage of Gus's torture.
Recorded footage.
yes.
And other Masquerade breaches are apparently.
The fact that the recordings exist is one of the mistakes.
Do you have any proof?
For
but
now,
we
we'll
need-
keep that to ourselves.
We need to find these, honestly. Let's be truthful here. We need to
Yeah.
find them. We've been told
I
that this is the
sent
case.
Carol Davis to you.
I knew it. Yeah.
Okay.
So you already know.
Damn.
I was hoping that you would find it. That's why I sent her to you.
Oh, and we
I know
got
this
a lot,
much.
can't we?
The warehouse is closer to Chicago than it is to Gary. And I know that it has Capone and his minions are members of the security force that deal with it.
We
And
can
as-
find it. We just thought we should tell you.
Thank you.
Bridge
I do
some
appreciate
trust.
That is good. That is admirable.
So you knew us before we even got here. Interesting.
It says when watching.
I like to keep tabs on people.
You know,
I have
Right.
spies among the elders of Chicago.
Want to tell us who they are?
No, you shouldn't ask who they are. You wouldn't.
Okay.
And
Thought I'd
besides,
try.
you wouldn't know their names. They're not vampires.
you know, it's a
Oh.
shame. It's a shame because if I had a police night helicopter, I could trail Capone and possibly find out where the warehouse is. But I don't have a police night helicopter.
You could do the same with a tracker.
Yeah, but the tracker would be kind of obvious. I imagine his people check
More or
for
less
that.
obvious than a chopper.
Well, it depends how far
1990s
you fly.
tracker. I mean, let's be honest here. It's probably like a box this big at this point in time. But
That's
So,
true.
so do you think the reason why Capone doesn't use this information himself is because he's like blood bonded or something?
Oh yeah.
Because why wouldn't he do that?
Well, this is so now we get into the crux of things. Loden, Prince Loden, that evil, vile motherfucker has been controlling the city for the better part of 100 years and on and off before that. That fucker has committed so many atrocities and broken so many rules. He has bloodbound every member of his coterie. Every vampire that he has created is bloodbound to him and serves him absolutely and utmost. Without question, every member of that entire lineage will die for him before giving up 1 inch of ground. and there's a lot of them. He has created 2 broods over the last 100 years. One brood he created in the early 20s, 30s, 40s.
What is a brood?
Okay, so a brood is just a group of vampires created by a vampire.
Okay.
So, for example, I create 4 vampires, that's a brood, and then 50 years later I create another group of vampires, which are a separate brood. They're all technically brood mates, and they're all technically the same brood, but they often get referred
Like
to as different
litters.
broods. Yeah, like litters. Yeah, perfect term. Yeah, exactly like a litter.
Especially in Loden's.
Including all the sibling
That's
rivalry.
our thing. That's the gangrel thing.
But in vampire, they do call them broods, and they separate them
Okay.
as Okay. So, yeah, the Ventrue in the city, they hold it like it's a fortress. They control this place. None of them is all that powerful by themselves, but together they are a force to be reckoned with. They have political power, they have financial power, they have military power, they have police power, they have fucking pop culture power. Everything. They've got their bases covered, and they are the law. They control everything, and they have Loden's word is the law. It's genius, but it's also utterly against the rules. There are so many breaches here, and he has things on so many others. There are criminal dealings from top to bottom. The corruption is just so rife. He has no conscience about what he has done. He has wiped out and destroyed groups of anarchs at different times whose names have been forgotten, their bodies burned to ash on the rooftop of the Sears Tower at sunup. And you see Juggler actually wince as he describes some of the things that he's heard of or that have happened. There have been riots that have been put down. There have been union actions that have been taken and failed because Loden has sent the police to them and annihilated them. He controls the city like a little emperor.
And yet there's no evidence of this besides a heavily fortified warehouse.
If you were to interview every single member of the community, I'm sure you would find evidence, but nobody is prepared to bring it forward for persecution.
I think even all of us are a little bit worried about that.
Of course
If we
you
come
are.
back.
You would be fools not to be concerned. Even you, Mr. Dews, should be concerned. Even a member of his own clan. In some ways, you should be more concerned. If you were to take back what you know to the old world, you might be the one to bring a conclave against him, for example.
I mean, this could happen. However, proof needs to be given.
Proof does need to be given. Whilst you find the proof, I suggest you also look at finding an archon or a justica who is prepared to examine the proof and call the conclave that needs to happen to destroy Loden for good.
Speaking of archons, do you know Tyrus?
Of course.
I get the feeling that he might be under Loden's thumb in some way. Can you see that? Or
It's quite likely. I can see that being a strong possibility.
like I want to believe that, but yeah.
He may not be able to help it.
I have noticed that whenever the prince goes about some particularly harsh action that involves the destruction of anarchs, Archon Tyrus, who should be upholding the Convention of Thorns, is not around. He's in Mexico. Mysterious Mexico. There are so many Sabbat in Mexico, he just needs to be there all the time.
So you think Loden's just sending him off when he needs to do bad things?
I think that might well be the case.
Okay. Well, I hope that's the case. It's a better alternative.
The domination.
I just don't want Tyrus to be blood bonded to him.
So to prove all this, we need to find that warehouse.
that would be a good start if you could find the warehouse.
And don't forget we have a boat to find it as well. And see what's going on there.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we can cut out the middleman. Carol wanted us to meet her at another location. The blah blah blah, because I forgot the name. The blue something.
The Blue Moon.
Blue Moon.
We've already been there.
You what?
We went there.
Yeah, let's not talk about it. He says,
We gave Hank
Bob
this
apparently
beautiful
lives
little
there,
gift
just
basket.
FYI.
Oh.
When was this? When did this happen?
Bob was apparently lives there as well, FYI. So just yeah.
Right. When did you visit the Blue Moon?
Earlier
yesterday.
this evening.
yeah, earlier
Okay.
this
Today's
evening.
the 2 p.m. game.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Did you want to go?
Fine.
We can go back there.
Well, oddly enough, Hank and Mark Levesque are downstairs now, so they're the ones that you would have met there. So you're welcome to go and hang out and talk to them.
No,
Okay.
no,
I
no,
wasn't
no.
aware of that. I wasn't filled in.
No, they don't fill people in these
You'll
places.
be filled in if you're not there.
And this is what I was concerned about, why I raised this with some of you about this business.
I thought it was going to be a separate vampire game. I didn't know it was this, but also it too.
It's
Right.
this.
And there's another player coming as well, but
We will have another player next week. That is also true.
Our place is going to be so small on the screens.
Our
Nah.
games are getting very popular. I like the idea that my face is going to be small on the screen.
You know.
Smaller than there. Yeah.
Anyway,
What you can be thankful for though, Joe, is that in that other game, well, despite the fact that they did go to the Blue Moon without you, they actually came up with an actual fucking plan.
yeah.
Which they
We come up with the plans in the
it's-
early ones.
It's only
because
taken 24 sessions to get to that point.
It wasn't a good plan either. It was just come here to party more.
Right.
So,
I
Here we
thought
are.
we're just coming at a club. Like
Like-
shit, I was ready to dance
conversation-
around. And
The conversation that you had tonight with Juggler so far, this conversation that you're having right now, you could have had, the other group could have had in session 3, 20 odd sessions ago. They could have had this conversation. It could be
Oh my
that
God,
that's where
really?
you could be. You could be there. But yes.
But we are
Holy
there,
shit.
and now we got to get to work.
I just want to take over the city. Like shit. Like
Right.
let's move.
I was like, I
20
didn't
episodes
want,
of side quests.
I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. It was so new. And Jen was so dominating, but
Jin
not
was
really.
very dominating. Jin was really dominating, but then let's all follow me, but I don't actually have a plan.
It was never a good one.
Right.
Yeah. It would just be
I
easy to
live
walk
with
in.
not having good plans.
I was going to say, like, we got this great plan to apparently set fire to a building and blow it up with a bunch of
But I'm
Sabbatians.
Malkavian. I have an excuse.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyhow. moving
Anyway.
right along.
Moving right along. Yes, we
Moving
go.
right along.
Yeah.
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 So, says Juggler, you have some things to think about, I assume.
Yes. we
Can I
do.
ask you, what kind of business do you have with Gus? He is not my broodmate, but he's a clanmate. Or was, or is, or was, or is. I don't know.
He was stealing some weapons off some competition of mine.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be a part of that. I'm sorry. Stealing's not really it's not really my thing.
And
I don't
I-
think so.
Sorry.
Sometimes, Miss Balladonna, you have to do what you have to do. And when you get to my age, you will find that you will have less compunctions about doing what is necessary.
Is it drugs?
All of these things are necessary.
They're necessary.
All
Mr.
is as it ought.
Okay. I'll trust you. I'm not sure the bigger picture here, but I trust you.
I think I should tell you, Juggler, that I have had dealings with the Sabbat.
I've heard.
Good. I just wanted you and I to be on the up and up. It was a forced dealing, not a...
I have somewhere around here your files. He opens a laptop
Oh.
that's underneath the table and lifts it up on the table.
You have files on us?
Of course, I have files on you. I have files on everyone.
Do you have?
I have a
Am I
database.
clothed in them?
He looks at you
Just
blankly.
all pictures of you pre-transform.
Believe me, sir,
Mid-transformation.
that is not a stupid question.
The only pictures he's got of you
I'm
are
just saying, you had your tits out in the club. Of course, he's got pictures of that now.
right. That is
What
also
information
Add
do
them to
you
the
have?
white thing.
true.
It'll take forever to load if they're on the internet. Just wait here for like 10 minutes for one picture.
Hear the dial-up modem going. "Do-do-do-do-do-do-do."
Just a moment.
The screechy noises.
Mm-mm.
Ba-doing, ba-doing, ba-doing.
Why did they make those sounds?
I know, right? Isn't it?
Why?
The weird thing is that only we will ever know what that was.
Mm.
Like for the rest of time, future people will not know what that was.
I actually missed the noise. I enjoyed the noise.
I'm
It should
sure
be-
there's a
I
YouTube
was
video on
raised
that.
by the noise.
I want it to be a ringtone. I think it should be a ringtone. That would be cool.
It'll exist. You could definitely get it as a ringtone, most
Right.
likely.
Yeah,
Sure.
my tutor had it.
I'll totally have to do that, I think.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm looking for a thing, a specific thing. Here we go. I found it.
Good job.
Good job.
You're
What
getting
Juggler
experience
knows.
towards organization and whatever.
What juggler knows? Doc.
Things I know.
And guess what? It doesn't even have the thing that I was looking for. Ah, never mind. Okay. Barry, do you remember the name of your sire? Because I can't find it. That's what I'm looking for.
No, I can't remember.
There's a
remember
woman.
her name. Yeah, it was a woman.
Mercy.
It's not on your sheet. Why didn't you put it on your sheet?
Actually, it should be on your sheet. It should be on your sheet.
I don't have my sheet.
He doesn't run his sheet.
Accurate.
I run his sheet for him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but I
actually,
can't
it is
see
on
it.
your sheet. It is. Yeah, I was looking under your documents instead. I was looking in your Google documents, which I also keep on your
Yeah.
behalf.
Yeah.
Andy Moffat. There you go.
Really? We went to save someone called Andy Muffet in Vietnam? It's horrible.
And it's a she, and she's a dreadlocked Malkavian hipster trickster cleric goddess.
Oh, she dead. She dead now. so.
She dead now.
Why can't you have a living sire for once?
It's not my fault. Russell keeps killing them for
But
me.
don't hate on us orphans.
Russell likes to kill my sires.
What's that about?
And your characters. Don't forget your characters.
my
I
characters,
kill your
yeah,
characters
yeah.
too.
That's why I don't know if giving him a helicopter was a good idea.
Exactly right.
Right. So
Oh, come on. That is the one thing he knows how to use. He's really good with it.
we shall see.
Well, no, my character sheet should. Yes.
Winding you up, Barry.
It's all right. I feel winded today.
You're right.
Truly winded.
All right. Very good. What are you doing? You're in the room with Juggler.
All right.
Any more questions?
That's about.
That's right. He says to you
Yes.
that he knew your sire.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Yeah.
And he puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, I'm sorry about what happened.
I'm sorry too.
Lawrence, was that an aura perception? That was just a
No. That was just me rubbing my face.
okay. Because in
Did you
Vampire,
want me to?
I don't want you to. You do whatever you want. You can if you want to. That's
I
up
can't
to
do
you.
it, but I'll
do you just
try.
always spam aura perception? Is that how it works? Just every now and then just drop one
The
in there.
Tremere Paranoid Clan. There you go. I'll do it for you. -2.
Oh my god.
He is not a vampire.
You thought he was a
Giving
vampire.
off some
Now you
funky
know
vibes,
that
man.
he's definitely not a vampire.
He might be wearing pants.
Mhm. What did you roll? Did you actually roll it?
Mhm.
What did you get? 2 successes. So he's
No.
at
Minus 2.
-2. -2. So it literally backfires. Yeah, you see the inside of your own skull. You see your own aura for a moment. You see.
What does my own aura look like?
That's a great question. That is a great question. Well, apparently you're a vampire, and you are. I don't know. What are you
So
feeling? Happy,
pale.
sad, love, anger, fear.
Emo.
Confused.
I can't tell me what I see. You got to tell me what I see.
What emotion are you feeling?
I don't know. You know my backstory. You can tell me something that Lawrence
I'll
has seen.
tell you something about Lawrence. Okay, well, I think he's a little bit nervous in the presence of a vampire who purports to be more than 500 years old, because
That tracks.
I think
That's
that given that you're in a situation where you probably couldn't get out of here if you tried, given the amount of weaponry and locks and armored doors and things that you've been through to get to this point, that would keep you,
Leprechaun situation.
yeah, that would keep you a little bit nervous. You're clearly in a very secure location with a very dangerous person who seems to be very nice, to be fair. He's not at all threatening you or menacing you. So this is
There's a
all
multi-class into Gangrel, so I can just go, but
multi-class clans. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
So Lawrence turns into a bat and flies away. Is that what we're?
Right. That's what he's wishing.
That's what Ed Bell's to do. Just go, bat!
Bye.
Turn into a wolf.
He's on a
Fuck
mission.
people over.
He's on a mission to keep the enemy wishing. They stayed at home instead of fighting these ninja masters to move like lightning. Leonardo, Donatello, and Michelangelo.
You need
Make
to
up
save
the
this
group.
for. You need to save this for another character.
Right.
Maybe Garwood.
Don't even
That
ask
is
me.
totally a Garwood line right there.
Yeah, that's a Garwood line.
Totally.
Right.
I miss
Okay.
him.
Aw,
He was the party.
he misses you.
It was like taking a one of those like
Oh shit! We
Disco
left him at
balls
the.
or something.
We technically left him at the club, didn't we? Like, didn't we show up with him?
You ghosted him.
I'm sure he would be fine, to be honest. He would find others.
Right.
All right.
Right. So, he purports to know your sire, and he says he's sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
You're here from Loden. I mean, you know, with empathy behind it.
What?
Basically, Loden won't say the same thing that you said, Juggler, and actually mean it. You
Well,
can see that.
I don't believe Loden has a drop of empathy in him.
You can see that.
There is one among his brood who might be worth saving.
Is it Edward Neely?
I'm afraid he's a lost cause too.
Really?
You'd be surprised. If you can find members of that brood that are worth saving, well, I say save them, but it's on you if they turn out to be monsters.
Okay.
Who of
He
his
gifted
brood are
me a
you talking
kitten.
about? Out of curiosity.
Who I'm talking about is Lorraine.
What about what's his face?
That name.
Okay, well we know Brennan. Is Brennan?
Brennan
Fincher?
is, yep,
Is he good?
good. Is he good?
Is
Brennan
he
Thornhill? Is he good? Brennan, let me tell you about Brennan Thornhill.
okay?
Brennan Thornhill was brought up in South America, the son of a wealthy drug-dealing motherfucking empire. He
He's not
grew
bad.
up. No,
Honest.
Okay.
so you can see where that story's going.
Right. Okay, Capone, definitely not. Who else was there? There
Well,
was a
there's
guy
quite a few.
inside the tower. He had pretty eyes, pretty green reflective
Bobby.
eyes. Bobby, right?
Bobby Weatherbottom.
Yeah.
Well, as it happens, Bobby might be possible to save. Primarily
Super
because
green eyes.
Well, it's going to get complicated because Bobby Weatherbottom was first approached by Annabelle Treebell and her brood. Initially, because Bobby Weatherbottom, well, let's put it this way, back in 1984, he siphoned approximately $127 million from the Chase Manhattan Bank in Chicago. He did this by hacking their system, and he took tiny little deductions from every transaction that was made across the board throughout the bank for a period of about 9 months.
I know Bobby, don't I, Russ?
You do know Bobby.
Yeah, I know Bobby.
We met him.
He's a good friend of mine.
Well, why didn't you say anything when we were meeting him?
He was the guy that was swept up and vacuumed up that guy that you guys
Yeah.
brought into the Sears Tower.
Well, Barry, you've met him online. You don't know
I
him
met
in
him
person.
online.
That's the problem.
I met him on, what they call it, line?
You met him.
Are you like on like
No,
well,
my,
I don't know.
my character
was that
wouldn't
dating
know a
website,
bloody thing
eHarmony?
about line.
Is that
Back in
like a-
those days, it was there were bulletin boards.
Is that like a trapeze?
I met him on a bulletin board.
Wait, what?
A bulletin board.
On AOL.com.
What is that?
I don't know who was dotting at the time. You'd have to ask
Pre-internet.
me.
It
In
was
any
just-
case, Bobby Weatherbottom was initially groomed by the clan Toreador, and it was Loden that decided that to punish the Toreadors, he would take him for himself. However, since that time, Mr. Weatherbottom has worked on and off for both clans at different times, doing favors for both. Unfortunately, he doesn't have much of a life of his own now. His time is mostly taken up serving that of others.
Right. It's good to know that he could potentially be saved. I hope we can, because his eyes are really pretty. Anyway.
Important things to note.
Yeah.
Save a man because his eyes are really pretty.
They are
Okay.
nice.
Some of it is unfair of me to say that of Loden's brood is entirely a write-off. There are members of that brood that are potentially savable, but you would have to cut off the head to save the hand in that case. You're out of game, Joe's question about killing the head vampire. It doesn't kill all the other vampires, but it definitely breaks all the blood bonds.
I guess that would make sense. Oh, but sometimes that's not a good thing. Like the whole ghoul situation.
What's
Like with
the
Parker. Oh god.
what's the story with Kevin Jackson? So he's the leader of he runs the Bloods from the Shadows, correct?
Not even from the shadows.
Okay, so he's straight up gangster and like everyone knows it type thing.
You think he's all good?
Kevin Jackson, he's
Yeah.
hooked up with the Bloods. Do you think he's good?
I mean,
If you asked him to his face, he'd tell you he was a bad motherfucker.
sure.
He's probably got a wallet that says bad motherfucker.
Right. Yeah, but would he
Badass motherfucker.
Right.
potentially convert?
Would he convert? I don't know. You could find out.
He's
Look into it.
devoted. He'd be devoted to his master, surely.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Mm.
I alluded earlier to the fact that I have possibly some contacts that I should put you into connection with. I am aware of certain archons. They're not exactly friends of mine. They have been on my case on and off for the last squillion fucking years. But they are actually good people, despite their interest in seeing me burn alive. But if I was to put you in contact with them, it might be that they could potentially assist you in setting up some kind of
Thing.
something like that.
Mhm.
The problem for me, and it might seem to you that but Juggler has this haven, and he's several hundred years old, and he's got all this money. Why doesn't he do all this shit himself? Well, I'll explain. There are several reasons. First of all, everybody is watching me. I can't leave this place. The chances of me leaving this place and having the vehicle shot out from under me or being destroyed is very high. If I was to go anywhere or do anything, they would be watching me. I cannot do anything without some kind of eyes. Okay, so I have no real agency myself. I have to play 3 steps ahead and through proxies.
Do you miss outside?
I find my ways to get out, trust me.
Okay, okay.
But it's never for long, and it's never to do anything of any great agency. So perhaps that begins to paint a picture for you. This is why I need the likes of you. Nobody is watching you the same way as they're watching me. They are watching you. They think that you are the vampires who have been brought forward to replace the incompetent vampires that came before you. And that is a good thing, because now nobody will take you seriously, and you can use that reputation for your own good. You can sneak under the radar using that.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
I'm so sad at the same time.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a good idea. Making everyone think that we're incompetent, thanks to the reputation of the group from
Early
previous.
days yet, we may
Yeah.
actually prove to be incompetent, but yeah, early days.
I have faith in you, Mr. Hamilton. I have faith. And I have so much faith that, first of all, I can make some suggestions as to where you might want to place your helicopter business.
Okay.
I'll give you the information when the time is right. But
All right.
yes.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Look at you, Chase.
Look, I will do
Getting
whatever I can to assist you people in your mission, especially if your mission happens to coincide with that of Miss Davis. My objective is to put Miss Davis on the throne of Chicago. I believe her to be the correct and rightful prince. She
Even
has.
though her clan has exiled her.
He looks over at you. They've exiled her for now. They will accept her when she takes her role as prince.
How can you be so sure?
They would be fools not to. Perhaps you can convince them.
From what I understand, she is wanted dead.
Truly. Do you know her sire?
I do.
Have you spoken to him?
About her? No.
Well, I suggest you ask him whether he wants her dead, because I have my doubts.
That's not what Ericto said, was it?
It's not what Ericto said.
Okay, I misinterpreted. I'll go back then and say she's
Well, no, it might be
highly
what.
wanted.
Sorry, we might be confused here. She is definitely wanted by the Tremere and by other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not dead, but like to be brought back in, right?
It wasn't made very clear. Could have been clearer.
I mean, my impression of what Richter was saying was that she was totally not into the idea of Davis, but I was
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I thought she liked her. It's just
Ericto gave you the impression that she did like her, but that it was beyond the point of being salvageable, as far as she could tell from her point of view within her position in the clan.
Okay.
And
then
of course,
I'll retract that and say instead because I think Lawrence would know that. I forgot, but yeah.
That's fair.
So Lawrence would say, from what I understand, she is beyond redemption in our clan.
That is a very harsh interpretation of her situation, and I'm sorry to hear that. Do you think that that's fair?
From the 10 minutes we knew her, she seemed honest. From the impression I got when I told my sire, it seemed like a taboo subject.
It might well be that it's taboo because presently, from my point of view, I believe that your Primogen counselor You know of whom I speak?
Is he saying the Tremere Primogen?
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember who that was.
Nikolai. Yep. Okay.
correct.
Carry
Yeah.
on.
Of course.
I'm of the impression that your Primogen Tremere counselor,
My grandsire.
your grandsire, of course he is towing the line, the official Ventrue line, for some reason. Now, given that Disable is your grandsire's child, and he must feel very strongly about Miss Davis, then either Disable has gone and done something very, very terrible indeed, and thus, by extension, Miss Davis is a very terrible mistake, or Prince Loden has made some kind of deal with your grandsire.
Doesn't seem
Which
incorrect. I would believe that.
may be a very, insidious thing to do within your own clan, I would say. How would you feel if your sire was to make a pact behind your back to have your own child destroyed?
Nikolai keeps a lot of things close to the chest.
That he does.
From an outsider perspective, it seems like a lot of the Tremere do that.
A
Except
lot
for
of
Garwood.
vampires do that.
Garwood's great.
And don't underestimate the power of diffusion and deception.
We stand by you, Lawrence. Do you ever need a hand?
To what? Take down my grandsire?
I don't want to have to say that.
Well, hopefully it
Whatever
won't
you wanna
come to
do.
that.
I'll say this much for your grandsire. If there's any chance that he's made a deal with Prince Loden, it will be just a deal. And if you can make a better one with him, he will change that deal.
That makes sense.
Whatever you have to say about the Tremere, they are intensely loyal to their own, usually.
I will say that when I tried to ask about the sleeper, he pretty much brickwalled me.
Would have deflected you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You see, the Camarilla are forbidden to speak of it. Gehenna is against their... It is not to be spoken of. It cannot be spoken of. It is heresy. To speak of it is heresy.
There is some I
admit-
believe we can trust with this information.
Who do you believe
That-
you can trust?
It seems cliche, but my own sire.
Well, good luck. You can tell her what you like about me. I'm not afraid.
We're here to build bridges, not tear them down.
I like the sound of that. Let us build bridges together then.
Thing is,
End credits.
not meaning to interrupt you. Not
Sorry.
meaning to interrupt you. We're here. This group is here to build bridges. I don't know what everybody else is here to do.
Everybody else, as in who?
Well, the elders.
Oh, we know what they're here for. They're for themselves.
The thing is, we are the ones here trying to build bridges.
Understood. And I think we can safely say that we have laid out our first bridge.
You all good with that, Bob?
I am.
Good. Yeah, he's the leader.
Excellent. Well then, I think time has probably come for you to head off your general different ways and for me to retire. It grows late.
Yeah, we really need to get back.
What time is it?
Well, it's probably about 3 now.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, we really should go. It takes an hour to get back. It was a pleasure to meet you, Juggler.
I'll sleep in the trunk of the taxi.
Right.
With the C4. Hugging the
I'll use it as a
C4.
pillow, yeah. That's perfectly safe without it detonated.
Right.
Are you reading? Is he reading out ors?
Is he reading?
Is that what he's doing? Is that what you're rolling?
What?
Can't
What
ask the
about-
DM what they're rolling for.
He can just re-rolling dice for the joy of rolling dice.
No.
No,
Or rolling
No.
stealth checks.
That's not how it
Rolling
works.
Stealth checks, you know.
I wish that was the case sometimes. I really do, but no.
I was rolling a dice to determine which one of you I'm intending to kill first.
Liar.
It'll be
Liar,
me.
liar.
It'll be me.
It's true. I already decided it's Barry.
Oh.
It's a D10, and from 1 to 10, it was Charlie.
Right. Oh, 4. That's Chase. Oh, 5. That's Chase. 5. It's again. That's also Chase. No.
You're
Okay.
very successful at killing his characters, I might add.
It's true. There's usually helicopters involved. How does
So
that
I guess the next big step is finding this warehouse.
Good luck with that. That is a great step to take.
Which I
That
guess
will-
you guys would take care of at 2 o'clock next week.
No. Probably have a long chat.
Out of game, I think we probably should talk about the mechanics of this. And I feel that for that 2 o'clock game, it would be conducive if the first 2 o'clock game is mostly planning. And then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can do all the action in the second half and the second game, the actual doing of things.
I think that's
Um,
kind of how we were doing it.
Well,
right?
We
You guys
did.
can do whatever you want to. You're paying for it. So
We kind of intended on not following any plot line during our time. We were just going to do things that we have, like going to the club and like making
Personal
plans and
stuff.
doing errands and getting fed and all that kind of jazz. And basically, so we're ready to go when it's your guys' time slot. It
We'll
just
always
kind
like
of
save. We'll
we
save
just
the
kept
juicy
getting
stuff
pulled
for
into
guys.
bullshit because like Chase is like, let's go run down to the Blue Moon, and the next thing you know, we're like getting into all this sorts of
it's Barry's fault.
yeah, it's totally Barry's fault.
Actually, the funny thing, okay,
Fucking
how
Masquerade.
it happened.
Yeah.
How it happened was Barry was trying to feed off this chick, and she
It was
was
so ragey.
he was dominating her. And we're not going to talk about how that went because it's not important. But what did happen was he finally got her outside the club and said, "Do you want to go for a coffee?" And she said yes. And he was like, coffee bar. He's trying to think of a coffee bar. Blue Moon came up in his brain, and he said, "Taxi driver takes to the Blue Moon," something to that effect. And that's where they went. They went to the Blue Moon, and so then he met Hank. And had this conversation. He fed off this chick at the Blue Moon in front of the video camera and Hank,
breaking the masquerade.
breaking the masquerade.
Yeah,
And then
fuck the masquerade.
and
It's not
Hank
fun.
gave him the fucking bad word for that. So these guys felt they had to go back and apologize.
Yeah, we made a little
So-
gift basket.
They made a gift basket and went
Yeah,
back
basically
to apologize.
Vincent paid for a $50 gift basket from the high priestess.
$50.
Yeah,
Pretty cheap.
Yeah, cheap for the masquerade. The masquerade was worth $50.
I mean, in all honesty, though, in the
It was
90s,
cute,
man,
though.
that $50, that was a lot of money.
Actually, $50 was a lot of money. It
it
still
was
is a
also
lot
really
of money.
cute.
I do want a receipt for that, by the way.
It just
There
doesn't
is
buy
accounting to be done.
Big old Crisco's Christmas package there.
Right.
I'll write
you
you
know,
out one.
I envision that in the 2 o'clock sessions, working on the business and stuff like that, and getting
Yeah.
That's what I want to do with it because
Yeah.
I mean that way I don't have to bore these guys with making money and stuff like that. They can just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they can just be broke bloody bruja. And
7
just
to 10
leave it like
is
that.
for story progression only.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Right.
Side quest beforehand.
Side quests beforehand. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to be hard to keep them entirely separate because
Oh, yeah.
there will be some crossover. It's inevitable, but I will do my best to mitigate it. And I think that as long as everybody is aware of it, we can. This metagaming is not a dirty word. You can metagame in a way that allows the group to cohese and work together. So anything you are able to plan in that pre-session, you can bring the plan to the game in the second session. These guys can laugh at it and go, "What were you thinking?"
Let's go back to the
Okay, let's try
square
something.
one.
Go back to square one. Or
Yeah.
they
You
might go,
can't tell me what to do. I'm a booyah.
He's like, you're just gonna be like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna go kill the prince with a grenade." Somebody tried that.
Oh yeah, on that note, can I get a rocket launcher?
That's right.
Check my trunk. There's
We're gonna
probably
call
something
it the
in there.
cake mixer.
Yeah, he
Cake
is the
mixer.
best name for it. I love it. It's so cute.
You probably could get a rocket launcher, but you will have to look around for one.
RPG.
Yeah,
Under
You
the
got
table.
this, man.
or a TT RPG.
Maybe have a chat to the gimp on the way out.
Mhm.
Maybe he'll know.
Right.
Oh.
Don't get
Tabletop
you
rocket propelled grenade.
right. Don't get those mixed up. You like go to pull out your rocket propelled grenade and you pull out a bag of D&D books. You're like, oh fuck! I can fire some dice at you.
Nice.
All right, that wasn't really very funny, but okay.
Yeah, where are you keeping it in your gimp costume?
Yeah, and there was also a lot of time wasted with Vincent's ghoul. That's a whole
Like-
story.
Ghouls holding up everything.
Well, it wasn't the ghoul holding up everything. It was the ghoul's costume that was holding up everything.
And my character was like, she's quite like feminine, female friendly, very much, and that's just not on. But he knew.
Say
he knew
female
that.
friendly.
Yeah, I don't like the word feminist, to be honest, because I'm not one. So,
You're only saying
I
that
get
because you're in
offended,
a
but-
group of.
Feminism is fine. It's just the extremists.
I'm a feminist,
Sorry, hold on.
basically.
one sec.
It's your window.
There you go. Well, it is 10:03 p.m.
Okay.
So I reckon we wrap up as you guys are traveling home.
Yeah.
However, Joe, I want to talk to you
All right.
for 5 minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye. Goodbye.
After I get rid of these fuckers, you guys piss off. Go on.
All right. See you guys later.
See you
Kick him
later.
from the meeting.
Yeah, I'll kick you all. Kick
Bye.
y'all.
Kick it all.
Yeah. See ya.
See you later.
Goodbye, guys. That was weird.
See ya.
See you, Charlie.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye. Right. So you're on your way home.
Okay.
Somebody, I suppose, is going to watch this, but that'll be funny for them. This will be their reward for actually watching the video back. Okay, so you're on your way home, and Vincenzi's driving, and he says, "Hey, do you mind if I just stop here for some cigarettes?"
Is this like halfway to Chicago?
Yep.
Sure. That's okay.
So
Just
he
be quick.
pulls-
We have to go.
All right, sure, okay. And he goes off the freeway. It's down under the freeway. There's like a little strip mall, and he gets out of the car, and he walks into the supermarket. Not a supermarket. It's like a little store, a tobacco store, something like that.
Yeah.
It looks like, it looks Middle Eastern. In fact, it has sort of a Middle Eastern vibe about
Shisha
it.
shop.
Yeah, and as he's in there, you see this blonde woman walk out wearing this long dress and sandals. The dress seems somewhere between a dress and a shroud, or some kind of almost a robe.
Okay.
And she looks directly at you. She's got long blonde hair,
Is
curls.
this Wendy?
It's not Wendy.
Okay.
She begins to walk around the car, and she stands next to you, and she looks at you for a moment, and she says, "Come," directly into your head.
As she would have walked around the car, I would have, the moment she seemed intent on doing whatever, I would have aura perceived to try and
She's a vampire.
check her out.
She's a vampire.
Do I learn anything else? Do
You can make an aura perception check.
Hey, 3 successes.
3 successes.
One time it works. It's post game.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop recording this because this is the point where nobody needs to know what happens.